What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Wiley Show. I have yet again special guest back on the show. You are a teacher, pastor, singer, and a comedian. If y'all have not seen the last time you was on there, when you went against a formerly gay, I guess a reformed gay person, gay guy that said he was delivered, and he said that you were a hypocrite. And y'all had a whole debate the last time. It actually did really well. It was a great conversation. Welcome, Pastor Marquise, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. Good to see you.
I had to bring you on because, number one, you are a pastor, but you are a father as well. And it was this conversation coming up about child support, about how many black men is on child support. And the guy, they said, that's evil for black men to keeping us down. And I said, well, it's a good town hall to have. My brother is going through a battle right now for child support. I guess it was a one night stand. She got pregnant. And he's in a relationship, and now she's weaponizing, in his words, the child, because he don't want to be with her, and she want him. My brother don't. So now she's trying to put him on child support, and he pretty much said it's evil. So I posed the question to you, Pastor, and to the chat: is child support evil for the black man? Is it good for the black man or not? Pastor, what's your thoughts on child support? Do you think it's being weaponized against black men to take them down?
Absolutely. I do believe that is happening. That is a real phenomenon. I won't say, though, that child support in and of itself is bad. A lot of times we make things innately evil because they've had evil impacts in places or in certain situations. So I'm not going to say that child support in and of itself is bad. I believe that the purpose of child support was to hold parents responsible for children that they have a part in, birthing into the world. There are women and mothers who pay child support to fathers, but we normally hear of the opposite, where fathers are forced to pay child support for children by the mother. Mm-hmm. My experience is that I appreciate being legally obligated to pay child support because it disarms my son's mother from being able to say that I do not take care of my son. Secondly, child support does not take into consideration, the ice cream socials you take your children on, or the Chick-fil-A runs, or the birthday and Christmas gifts, or the just because you're with me, moments. So just because you're paying child support doesn't mean that's all you should do for your children. And then finally, child support is often weaponized to hold a person accountable for a failed relationship. Mm-hmm. And that is, I think, the real evil associated with child support, is where parents cannot be mature enough to understand that the relationship died, and that whereas there are children involved that need to be supported, child support is not a manipulation tactic for parents against each other. It is supposed to be to ensure that children are taken care of, especially when one parent may not be in the household. So I really have a real problem with child support that is weaponized because of a failed relationship.
I agree. I understand that part. And people need to understand, too, if you do not pay child support, you can legally get arrested.
Yes, you can.
You're thrown in jail. So my thing is, it is a part of the system. Now, it is some brothers I've talked to, I've known personally, was provided for the truth, did everything right. But the mother got mad. She wanted more, and she got a court order. So it's typically people think just people that's on child, but they was just deadbeat, had to be forced. It was some guys actually doing a great job. Then you also have, this is not as common, you have people that this they stepchild, or they wanted to be the man of the household. They get on child support. Mm-hmm. So I just think that this too is used to keep the black man down in certain cases, right? I think also a lot of these sisters that get into these relationships, they already know what the dude is about. You know he got other kids with other women. Then why you open up your legs riding that and him depositing that seed in that? What would make him change if he didn't change with the first 3 baby mamas? And I just think that women lie to themselves because they love dirty men and they don't admit it.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing. So again, I've been through the court system. I've been through custody, visitation, child support battles. I've been through all of that. And I'm not going to make this about my son's mother, but I will talk from my experience, right? Number one, I don't understand how if you get locked up, how you're going to, pay your child support. I don't understand that per se. But I also understand that a lot of the laws, especially in the state of Virginia, I'm a Virginian, so the Commonwealth of Virginia and most states alike, the laws have a tendency to side with the mother of the child. Number two, the law is written so that families stay together. Child support is not supposed to be for just unwed people who are just, having sex and making babies. And now, because you don't want a relationship with me, but that's all right. I'm going to, make sure you pay your child. That is not what child support is for. Child support is supposed to be a deterrent to keep families together. So I do think that the laws need to be expanded so that child support cannot be weaponized like it is, without cutting it out altogether, because we do need, legal enforcement behind parents taking care of their children.
Also, we have, I would say, entrepreneur in the house.
Hey.
And he's a TikTok sensation. I mean, him and his partner have a lot of followers on there. Welcome, bro. You know who it is. Oh, you got to be on mute. I want you to introduce, because I just bought one of his, Melvante, I just bought one of his shirts. Very good guy, very successful. And he's joining the panel. And then we also have a real estate expert. I mean, if you need something with your taxes, consider with property taxes expert, all of that, we have Don Johnson on the show as well. And Don is a father as well. So is Pastor Marquise, and Melvante, I'm sorry, partner is a father as well. But I want to get these different perspectives, because if your partner is dealing with, or wife, or is dealing with a child support order, if you get married, they can come after that spouse income. I think people have not heard about that. So if you get married and your partner owed child support, they can come after the wife income. Whoever had that income, they could legally come after that. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That could actually happen. That's crazy.
Tax refunds, stimulus rebates. If you have arrears of child support, it doesn't matter if you report it or not. If you start drawing a check and they are taking taxes, the employer will receive a notice to hold your funds or to redirect your funds. So the government is going to get its money, one way or the other.
I want to pose a question to y'all. Y'all can jump in. I want to just pose the question: is child support evil for the black man? And the reason why I say to black, because it's a black show. Let white folks do their own show. So is it evil? Don, Melvante, do y'all want to jump in and add? Y'all got any point of view on this subject?
Evil is the wrong word to use. Right? Okay. Everybody looking like, damn, like
I say evil because the black men that I talked to, they call it evil. They said this is evil. That's the word that they use. But
I put it to you like this, and the brothers probably would agree. It depends on how much stay in your pockets, it'll be evil or not. You know what I mean? Some of the things, like honestly, some of the judgments are egregious in regards to what a brother makes, what he brings in, and what he actually does with his kids, and what he brings to the table outside of just the monetary things. So, in some instances, it can be used for evil, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's evil, because there's a lot of men who won't step up to the plate, bro. And let's just keep it all the way 100. It's a lot of men who got a lot of women pregnant and was like, that's not my kid, or I ain't doing nothing, or, try to make any excuse not to be in the baby's life. So it all depends on who you asking. But from our perspective, I don't think any of us brothers gonna say it's evil. It just it can be used or weaponized as evil.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like that the way that they use child support, they make it, it's like, people running from, like, what I'm saying, it's hunting our men at this point, but what I'm saying, some people, I feel like that they need to constantly be reminded that they do need to, the importance of child support. Let's put it like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not just going to sit here and act like that, these women had these kids by themselves and, what I'm saying, and so forth, but also at the same time, like, we're also not going to tell a black man what is sufficient to supporting the child. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, if I want to support my child, like at the end of the day, if I want my child to grow up and be the fucking president, you know what I'm saying? Me giving him money is not gonna help him become
Right.
no president. Me spending time with him, me teaching him, me giving him, all the stuff that he needs to be a man and an adult and an intelligent individual. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't necessarily mean that I gotta go and work this job and everything that I make it has to go to my child, and that's making me a better father. And if I'm not giving my child all of this money, then I'm less of a father than half the other men out here. I feel like that's not fair. You know what I'm saying?
That's the evil.
So,
Yeah, there you go.
That's
I
the evil.
totally agree with that, because now you're asking the father of the child to put a monetary value, you know what I mean, on how much he cares for his kid, and that's a slippery slope. That's when you get into those muddy waters, you know what I mean? And so
and then also too, like, you got to think about it. You run into this problem with the children anyways, because right now they're kids, so they don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? So when they're growing up and they're like, oh, my daddy wasn't there, or my daddy didn't do this, and then in the background, the daddy's probably thinking like, oh, I'm paying the child support. You know what I'm saying? You had this, all this shit that your mom bought you, it came from me. But you feel some type of way now that you're an adult because I was never around. You know what I'm saying? So like, I did my part as, from society as being supportive, but in all actuality, it must have seemed like it was for nothing, because I have a child who resents me because I was never actually in his life, although I was. So
Yep.
that's a problem we run into.
That's something that's a good point, because people just look at the money part. I honestly, I feel like even Tyrese, I don't know if y'all seen it, he was crying. He wanted Ben Crumb to go out there. He wanted us to march. I said, F that. You screwed the heifer, so pay it. Like, if you rich, I'm sorry, slinging that ping, these hoes gonna want to get the money. It is what it is. There's a group of women, I call them brick truck bots, big truck hoes. That's all they crave for, is open their legs up, deposit that seat for a check. That's it. I call them brick truck hoes. They exist, and only way there's is, some of y'all can't never say it because y'all ain't dealing with the top notch guys. I'm talking about the basketball player, the musicians, the producers, whatever the case may be. So you already know that Boosie is ugly, but he got a check and you would ride it. And then you had to pay 20. I don't understand. What is a child going to do for 80, 90, $100,000 a month in child support? Some cats paying 200,000. What can a baby do with 200 grand a month? And then the mama got a new breast job, face job. If she don't get deleted like DC on Fly fiance, when she got him on maker and got slaughtered on the table, it is going to it should go to the child. And I feel like if the mother break the rules and spending the money on herself, if she's spending on money and not spending it to the child, she should lose custody, and the father should not pay child. He should get full custody of the child. It should not be that I'm funding your lifestyle. I supposed to be funding the child. And I see plenty women out here want more. They got Gucci Man and the daughter hair nappy, clothes dirty, shoes don't fit. So, and mama looking good.
And Wiley, that's what I'm saying. There is absolutely no laws that protect child support paying fathers. Since we're talking about the men who pay, there are no laws that protect, or that not even protect. There aren't any laws that ensure that the child actually gets the money. So there is no check and balance on once that money comes to the mother, because you can't pay a child legally. A child is underage. So the money is the parent, is the custodial parents. There is no law, that judges or monitors or protects ensuring that the money goes to the children. You know what you have to do as a child support paying man? You have to go back to court and petition the judge for a revision or for a reevaluation. And you've got to be able to prove and substantiate that the child is not being taken care of by the mother who is receiving the child support. And if you don't have ironclad evidence, there's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do.
Marquise is right, because you losing 50% off the bat, because for one, you're not in the child's life on a regular basis. So you're not the primary parent that's there. For one, you lost that argument, right? And so now you playing makeup, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? And in the process of you playing makeup, you're seeing the mother or mothers enjoying the riches of the wealth, and the kids are almost being neglected. Now, there is no checks and balances in place to say, well, why do you have all these things and the child is, doesn't even have the bare minimum of blah, 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 blah. See, there's no checks and balances in place. There's no one that's going to physically actually go out there and check on the child and do those things. But if the father did it, it's a problem now, because he's coming in angry black man. Hey man, what man? Look at this. Like, what are you doing? Look, my baby got this on, but you got this on. It's an argument he can't win, because the first thing she gonna say, nigga, you ain't her.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, you ain't there.
Absolutely.
So what you don't know, and and at the end of the day, it ain't like she gonna keep it 100 with you and tell you, hey, I had to use it for this, I was behind on this. It ain't none of those. I'm not gonna say those kind of relationships and those situations don't exist, but for the most part, we don't never hear about those situations where where they've reached a common ground, or where, you know what I mean? No, it's horror stories, bro.
Yeah,
Straight up.
I got a horse, not a horror story, but just to show you exactly what Don and my brother Movante is saying here. I hope I said that right. My son is 12 years old, right? So when I was married to his mother, we found out that we were pregnant soon after we got married, and I had paternity doubts. So our marriage broke up really because I had very legitimate maternity doubts. Now, paternity doubts. The law in Virginia said that because I am married to the child's mother at the time she gave birth, I am automatically the legal father. Wow. Whether I signed the birth certificate or whether I actually am his father. Because I told you, the laws are made to keep families together and to deter fornication or premarital sex or whatever, So I'm serious to tell you, I had to go. My son was born in January. I got my first child support deduction. My ex-wife left in February, and March I got my first deduction out of my income for child support. I hadn't seen a judge. I hadn't been divorced. We had no issues other than the fact that I wanted to have my son tested to be sure that he was mine. It was never about me trying to abdicate responsibility. It was always about, you were running around while we were dating. We got married quick, and you got pregnant even quicker. So I want to make sure that that's my baby if I'm going to be in this child's life.
So was it your baby?
Go to court, and the judge said, Mr. Hairston, I'm going to give you 3 reasons to convince me to order a paternity test. We're talking about paternity test. We ain't got the child support yet. I'm already paying child support, and I had to go to court to have a judge tell me that I could get a paternity test simply because I was married to the child's mother. And I gave him reason number 1. And he said, is this right, ma'am? And she said, yes. He said, don't worry about reasons 2 and 3. I'll order the paternity test. Now, my son is my son. However, I was already paying child support, and I had to go to court to get proof of paternity yet she never had to see a judge to get child support.
Wow. And that's something. Should, like, if you pay and then find out the child is not yours later on in life, you don't get those payments back.
You can sue to get them back, but there's
okay,
no guarantee.
It's no guarantee, but it's just like, I personally believe that it should be mandatory for a paternity test. If you want to do child support, mandatory. It should just be in the freaking law and say, let's make sure if this is it goes to SAC, because you do have some trifling women out here that do lie. You know what I'm saying?
That only applies if you're not married.
Right, but Wiley, you can't write that into law. I'm gonna tell you why that would never be written into law.
Why do you think that won't happen?
It would never, mark my words, you guys, it will never, ever, ever, ever be written into law. I'll tell you the number one reason why. If you guys don't mind, once we get out of this live, I want you to look at all the people in the Senate and the House of Representatives that have babies outside of their marriage. It'll blow your mind. So,
I'm here to tell you, men are the lawmakers. I'm here to tell you. I'm telling you. But look, put that comment that Courtney Moon put up. If men don't want to pay child support, get joint or full custody of the child. I'm not sure where she's going with the comment, but I just want to say I have always had joint, legal, and physical custody of my son. And I'm still obligated to pay child support.
Okay.
It's not a win-win for us.
Custody has nothing to do. And let me tell you something, y'all. I have never been a father that abdicated responsibility. From the time I was buying Similac and Pampers to now, with him being in middle school, I have always been present monetarily, present at the games and the shows and everything. So there is no legal justification for me having to pay child support because there is no documented evidence that I have not supported my child financially.
Absolutely.
I'm paying child support because my son's mother was upset that I wanted to get him tested and I was going to potentially out her as a whore. And that's the reason why I'm paying child support. 12 years later, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. 12 years later, right? I'm having grown men inbox me saying, you know what, bro? I had to leave her because your name come up on her phone and it changes her whole mood. And I can't even get her to respond to me like that. So because she refuses to get healed from what happened between us, right? She got this chain hanging on me, you know, as if I'm a deadbeat dad. But that ain't never been the case. You just
want, you want to be sure. As this brother's on, Mavante is on, your partner is a father, and I see he have a great relationship with his daughter. And so the dynamics, when you came on the show and your partner came on the show, some women were upset, like why he didn't stay with the daughter's mother and all of that good stuff. How do you handle being a potential bonus dad in the dynamic? How do you handle that? Because the last time we talked, it was a little tension there, but you are the bonus dad, and we're dealing with something, a very touchy subject in today's climate of two dads in the household with children. Some people don't want to see that, but how do you handle being the bonus dad?
That's actually a good question. I don't necessarily look at it like that. I just look at it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all kids are innocent. So, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's my child or not, if I'm around another child and I feel like that, you know what I'm saying, that child is around me, I'm gonna make sure I take care of it. That's just the father figure me. But just the fact that my partner, and that's his child, you know what I'm saying, the love that he has for his own child and the love I have for him, I'm gonna automatically have that love for that child too. So like I don't feel obligated to take care of his child, but just because we're all together, you know what I'm saying, I just do it off the kindness of my heart. You know what I'm saying? So we've kind of like got a agreement going on, like with his baby mama, like she's cool, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, I feel like probably one day she probably still in her mind probably think they're gonna be together, but at this point, me and her, we cool, and then her and him, you know, they cool, and we don't be thinking even like that. But you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's about the kids. Like we grown. You know what I'm saying. We want to make sure that the kids have the best life that they can have. You know what I'm saying. We don't want to be like, oh, well, I can't go be with my daddy because you know what I'm saying. His partner don't like me because I dealt with that when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying. Like I went to go over my daddy's house and my daddy's wife didn't like me because she didn't like my mama. You know what I'm saying? So I could feel the tension when I went over, and I'm like, damn, what the fuck I do? I didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I come over, I love all y'all, you know. But because of some shit that happened with my mama, I caught the backlash of it. So, and now that I'm an adult, I think about that, and it goes in my mind. I'm like, damn, like what the fuck? And now, like a generational curse, like I would never even want a child to even think nothing sort of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even want to do that because just it's not. You know what I'm saying?
I agree on that. So I love having y'all on this panel, but it's like when I put this together, folks were saying, "Oh, this is gonna be a panel beating up on the women. Tell these men to do their job." But the data shows that more Black fathers are in their children's lives.
Right.
It have shown that they're there, that they're working, they're in the home, and it is working. But society, I want to pose this question. This could be the last question. Why do you think society is not broadcasting that?
Hold on, Wiley.
Go ahead.
Before you say something, like that is some real shit. Like, and I'm ready to say some real shit.
Okay.
Like when it comes to like with the child support and being in the lives, it's not just picking on the women, but I feel like me, if I'm a child, right, and it's just me, I would have much rather my daddy being in my life and being there for me, showing up to motherfucking basketball games, parent teacher conferences, motherfucking coming to my school and you know meeting the other kids. That shit meant more to me than my daddy just be like, "Hey, what's up?" and throwing some money in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some real ass shit. Like I wouldn't trade that in for the world. And another thing too, like the women, they're like, "Oh, my kid need this, my kids need that." That's the problem with this new generation of all these fucking kids. They're spoiled. Nobody wants to fucking work. When I was a kid, we was out getting up, we was hustling, we was selling, doing this. I was trying to get a job at 14. I was mad I couldn't get a job. I want a job so bad. These kids, they got every opportunity to get a job. They don't want to fucking work because they're used to being spoiled. They used to their mama, okay, here. They used to their parents giving it for them. All of these parents now, they're young parents. So they're like, oh, okay, they trying to flex for the ground. Oh, I'll make sure my kids got this. I'll make sure my kid got that. So now kids, they fucking bad. They should like shit. I'm spoiled. I ain't gotta do shit. So like it really kind of like caused a big effect on the generation. They feel privileged. They feel like they don't gotta fucking do shit. They ain't gotta listen to nobody. Oh, you ain't my mama. I ain't gotta listen. You know, it causes havoc like within a lot of different things. There's no discipline. There's no being told no more. You know, everything's yes, 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 yes. So they just run over people. You know what I'm saying? And even still, like us men, when you were talking about earlier, like with the child support, I feel like there's some women they might take advantage of it, and I don't give a fuck. It shouldn't be, oh well, I make $1 million, so you gonna get 200,000 child support. No, if the child support system should make some type of program to where a woman should make a list of things that she needs for her child, you know, and send that list in of the price or whatever it is. They send it in and then they get it approved, and then they have the father go and pay for that. But like me as a father, if I'm a father, I'm not just going to be blindly giving you all of this money for you to go do whatever God knows what with it, you know, just to say, oh, I got my child support, you know what I'm saying? Because you might be trying to go buy you a new car, you know what I'm saying? And you using your kid to benefit from you, you know what I'm saying? And then you using me to do it. So like, it's a lot of different things I feel like they could change, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I think honestly that is a wonderful point. And I was speaking on a point about Don when I put up to his home, 2-parent household, a family. That's great. So I say it's good to see that me, a brother that didn't grow up with a 2-parent household. I did, but stepfather wanted to clock out, and he's been clocking out ever since. So, so seeing that, I said, okay, we need to broadcast that more, seeing 2 parents in the household, and also broadcast a good partnership where I ain't got no baby mama or baby daddy drama. That y'all are there for the child, y'all working together there for the child, because the data shows that fathers are there, and the data also shows that if a person raised in a mixed income neighborhood, just seeing the father, their chances of succeeding goes greater versus just being in a low income area. Now, there is some situations where dudes are just not doing right at all. They don't want to pay nothing, not a phone bill, nothing. Don't want to help, nothing. So I think in those type of extreme cases, the court intervention need to come up. But it's difficult because some brothers out here, I mean, if you do, it's sad that if I'm married, I don't care if my husband got child support. That's on him. Like that. Why come after my money? I didn't make that child. So that's the part I don't agree with. I don't want nobody. You got child support. Don't try to date me. I don't want that. I don't want the problem. I don't want the. Don't come after my moolah because I didn't put my pee. And I'm gonna tell the judge, Your Honor, I didn't put my pee in this yoni, and I disagree with it. This is pure hypocrisy and trash. You come out of my check, and he did it. It ain't my fault that the child is hungry. I didn't make it. But, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I get that, but I think this. Now, I'm not going to be as extreme as the mother or the parent having to put a list or whatever, and then the father pay that. I think 2 mature adults could do that. You know what I'm saying? Without having to go through the courts. If you are a mature adult and you can heal from what happened with the failed relationship and just deal with taking care of the child,
right?
You know, we should be able to communicate between each other. But if you must use the system, I think that there should be not only mandatory paternity testing if the parties are unmarried, especially, but I also think that there should be more accountability on behalf of the recipient, whether that's the mother or the you know, if the mother is receiving child support, there should be checks and balances that she has to go through that says, this is how I am appropriating and using the money that I receive from child support. Secondly, I have never been able to file my son on my taxes. Wow. But the amount of child support that I pay is a substantial subtraction from my income that I never get to see. However, his mother gets to file because she's the custodial parent. Now, we could come up with an agreement and file staggered years or whatever, but she don't budge. I could beat her at her own game and file my tax returns early and by paper. And if you file early and by paper and you claim your child before the other parent does, then ain't nothing they can do. But I don't fight unfair like that. But there should be checks and balances on the receiving parent that forces them to show and document and make sure that the money is being appropriated to the child. You know, but paying rent and lights, I mean, the child is staying there and eating, you know, but weaves and surgeries and all of that stuff, that should be a clear indication of child support abuse.
Wow. And that's why I'm like, I understand Don pointed a lot of this won't happen because a lot of brothers in Congress got, you know, children out there, but obviously some change need to happen. And I tell my brothers and them all the time, I said, you need to talk to your state representative, you need to have a proposal, and also you need to start talking and meeting these people and say, hey, let's get a petition. Let me see how many fathers in my district are dealing with this issue and bring it up. I also think I was watching The Chi. I don't know if any of y'all watched that, but I love the part of the episode where brothers are around in a circle talking about the issues. I think we as men have to talk more about it and come with solutions. But this is sad. I feel like child support is a form of white supremacy to keep Black men in prison or keep them in bondage to some type of boogeyman to police their affairs, because everybody that's on child support is not a deadbeat. It's some that's on child doing wonderful, you know, right? But that system, and you bringing up the point where you can't file your child on your taxes, but the mother can, but a lot of your income going there. So why can't you benefit from the from the tax code that if you have a child, you could benefit and have its benefit. So each parent either like, hey, you in 2019, I'm gonna do 2020, vice versa. Y'all do 1 year after the other. One pick 1 year. And I think that would be best, but it's just like the system, unfortunately, and this is why Black men are leaving Democrats. I feel like it's against Black men, period. I think this system is so targeted towards women and living up to this women code, women identity, and men are being forgotten about. I talked to so many brothers. They said, Wiley, I feel like I'm invisible to this.
Wiley,
that's how I feel.
I disagree.
I feel that way, that a lot of Black brothers feel like they're not getting enough notice in today's society, but you disagree about that, Pastor.
I disagree with child support being a weaponized version of keeping men down. The reason I disagree with that is I think what Black women who are offended, upset, and angry at Black men, I think they have used the legal apparatus of child support to create this evil for the Black man. But I don't want to make child support in and of itself the evil. It's being manipulated by the other person. I think as I said before, if you look at the history of child support laws, the child support laws come from the belief, and I'm not going to preach, but it comes from the belief that men should marry women and procreate from the same household. Child support is established in its original writing to keep couples from parting ways. It's supposed to be a deterrent to single parenthood. It's not to keep men down. It is to keep men from separating from the women that they impregnate. That's the original.
Okay,
that's the original. It has become a lot, but originally it wasn't about that. It was about keeping families together.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree in a sense with all of it, because at the end of the day, what we all are dealing with is this: certain women and certain individuals have found a loophole in the law, and it's being exploited, and that's the exploitation of the law.
That's right.
And so, and that exploitation can go, that pendulum can go either way, but it's going to an extreme. It ain't staying in the middle in a constant, you know what I mean? It's swiveling to the left, to the far left, and to the far right. It's going to be extremely unfair on either way. Either it's going to be toward the mother, toward the father, but it's going to be extremely unfair. It's never going to be a middle ground, so to speak. Yeah. And we never talk to those people where there's a middle ground, because there's not enough of those people in the middle ground to have the conversation. You know what I mean? Because like Marquise, he can be on one side, and you can be on the other side. It depends. It just depends. So it's just being exploited, man. And they haven't figured out a way to stop that wound from bleeding. They done tried to put a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. And, we just see the residual effects of, us losing blood, aka money.
Yep. Yep. Oh, wow. And one more thing, and I have to go in a few, but the other thing is it's not against the Black man. If anything, I'll give you this, Wiley, because I love giving the benefit of the doubt. It is an indictment against Blackness. You would be surprised how me as a Black man and my son's mother as a Black woman are treated in courts when we are in child support proceedings. They look at her as a ghetto, baby maker, and they look at me as a deadbeat, but that's because of our Blackness. Okay. She came to court pregnant by another man one time. Wait a minute. And the court gave her absolutely, I mean, they treated her like she was, I was almost about to be like, wait a minute now, hold it. This is the mother of my son here, I mean, forget that we divorced, but you're not going to talk to her like that, but, they do. It's a thing about Blackness. They will talk, they will offend, they will treat you like you are just nothing, because they see, like Don said, they just using this law to get money. They using these laws to get over. They rigging the system. That's how it was in my experience.
All right. Well, I want him to announce his business. John, thank you all for coming on. I don't know, Melvante want to say something about his company that he have, because he have his own store, which is in Kentucky, and it's open where y'all can go there. And he also have a website. So I'm gonna drop the link to his website. So if y'all want to buy some of his merchandise, like I did, it's really good merchandise over there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead, because he have a company, and him and his partner. I found them through TikTok, and his merch is really nice. I mean, I have a shirt coming, so go ahead, sir.
So we got our website. It's www.stayaheadcollections.com. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, everything. Everything is Melvante. And then we got a clothing page on Instagram too. It's Stay Ahead Collection. We got a little bit of everything, ladies. So, hey.
And I definitely want y'all to go. I'm going to post it in the chat, so y'all go and check that out. Because I had to bring them on to have this conversation. I love talking to and of course, when we do a show about business, I will definitely have to get them on about that. But I personally believe also too, if you get food stamps, or if I personally believe that if you get a boob job, if you buy brand new shoes, you're off the child support money. That's a point of fraud, and I think you should be thrown in jail. Honestly, if you using the child support payments on your personal self, on Pookie and Ray Ray, your other dude that you're screwing, you should be thrown in jail for fraud, and all payments should be ceased. Period. Point blank. And thank God I'm not a judge, because if I was, if you had nails, I'm like, man, what did you get your nail? Did you? And if you could show proof that she's spending the money on that, she'd be thrown in jail for the next 120 days. And all child support payments will cease. So I personally believe that we need candidates to stand up, politicians to stand up for the interests of men. We're standing up for the interests of women, and they're violating our rights as men. It was a time Black men were dominating, and now I feel as though us as Black men is in a minority in this system. And I personally believe that we need to have men in office that's going to stand up for the interests of Black men. Sleepy Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they have not done enough for Black men. And honestly, I feel as though that we need some more alpha energy. We have too many betas out there, and I personally believe that. So I just thank y'all for coming on. Some women are very upset at me for doing this panel because they feel like, y'all make it seem like it wouldn't be no need for child support if men stopped cheating. But that's not the case. All men that's on child support haven't cheated. But that was like the noise that I was receiving from this, and people were giving me stories about that. But it's a lot of women. I personally believe Black women cheat more than Black men. I personally believe that. I just think they can hide it better than men.
I agree with that.
I say all women can cheat better than men. That's all. Ain't no Black women. All women.
You know why? Because women know how to keep their mouth shut.
And they know how to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
but Wiley,
that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, I don't think no one should go to jail though over child.
Yeah, Wiley extreme, man.
If you put
Wiley so extreme,
we praying for Wiley.
No, if I don't pay my taxes, Lauryn Hill got thrown in jail for not paying her taxes. So these ruthless thug women, I call them thugs with wigs, if they decide to take child support payment on the BBL, they should be thrown behind bars for 120 days. I stand on that. How are we throwing Lauryn Hill in jail? Wesley Snipes, I love him. He's a great guy. I loved him when he was screwing that white woman on that copier. The copy, the Xerox machine. I personally believe he was thrown in jail for not paying the taxes. So why are we rewarding these ruthless thugs with wigs, spending the child support payment on themselves? So again, I stand that it needs to be a law in there. If you break it, 720 years in jail.
There's already laws about that, but decriminalize child support, because if you send a mother to jail for buying wigs and getting BBLs, who taking care of the children?
Exactly, but fathers go to jail.
Number two, if you send the father or the child support payer to jail, how are you going to work and pay your child support if you in jail? I think jail should not be the remedy for child support. There's got to be something else that you can come up with. I mean, shoot,
Hit
you
them in the
take my
pockets.
tax refund, you take my stimulus check, you take I was in a car accident and didn't get my settlement because it went to child support. Now, I did have arrears. That wouldn't have happened if I did not have arrears. Let me be clear. They don't just take your money. They take your money if you have arrears, right? But the point is, that's enough. If you don't pay and you come into some money, the government already has apparatus in place to stand in between you and your money. That should be it. But going to jail? Now, if you Wesley Snipes and Lauryn Hill and you making thousands and millions of dollars and you just not paying your child support, that's not the same thing, Wiley, as a butt lift, or struggling to eat every day and don't have enough money to pay your child support because you're financially challenged.
I understand, but I am a conservative. I believe in law and order. If you break it, 120 days. And so I believe we need to bring back hard. I really, Don, we need to talk about this. Maybe I need to go to law school. So I need to be a hard judge because I'm triggered a little bit.
Wiley, don't you go to law school.
See, while Wiley is saying this, you got comments saying he advocating for deadbeats and all this kind of stuff.
And I'm all about advocating for the oppressed, but 120 days just because you.
Like I said, remember we just had the conversation about being in the middle, and Wiley's on one of them extremes.
I mean, see? All the
way. Oh man, but I just thank y'all so very much. Again, Pastor, you can let people know because I believe your church is in person now. Because when I met you, was just strictly virtual. So it's an in-house church as well now.
Well, yeah, we're in person. We were in person, but COVID is back on the rise again, and I'm not committed to in-person worship over health and safety. So we are virtual on Sundays at 3:00 until the first of the year, unless the wave does something different. However, we are having in-person worship on October the 14th because I'll be consecrated to bishop in the Lord's church, and my child support is paid, so I do take care of my children. But thank you for having me, and it was nice.
I can't wait for that because we need more people in the ministry. And like I said, I love following your ministry. And he told me stop interrupting people when they talk. Pastor got me together. He corrected me, and I was humble enough to take that correction. So that's how I didn't interrupt. That's how I was silent. I was in my place because I feel like. And then of course my next town hall meeting, a town hall will be about church hurt and how can we talk about it. We're gonna dissect church hurt because a lot of people don't know about that. We're gonna talk about how the church hurt and should you just continue to go to a church and you develop and hurt, because a lot of people, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be, I'm gonna word it right, get a good title for that. I got to get you back on, Pastor, for that, because a lot of people, including myself, have experienced some type of hurt in the church, whether it was sexual abuse, financial abuse, mental abuse, etc. So that's going to be the next town hall. So we got to understand your schedule because you're going to
I'll save my comments on church hurt for them.
Okay, because I gotta get it. And where is this going to be located? Your service?
Charlotte, North Carolina. You can go to citynation.org and just browse our website. You can find our social medias there and all of our events there. Citynation.org.
A lot of people ask me, did you make up with what's the name? The brother that was.
Ooh, no, I haven't made up with him yet. But I went to Georgia and I reached out to him. And he didn't respond, but I saw him go live. He was asked to sing at a birthday party.
Oh, wait a minute! He was right. Yes, he was actually. And I'm like, wait a minute! I thought you said you was delivered. I did see that. I saw that. And I thought about you when I saw that.
I took a screenshot. I was like, he is thick as duck butter. That thing thick as duck butter. Shout out to Apollo and call me when you're ready to be honest. When you're ready to be honest, Apollo, call me. But he can have my babies and I'll pay my child support. See, you got me cutting up.
Oh, Lord.
I just see. I just told everybody I'm about to become a bishop, and then you got me acting unseemly. See, I got to go now. I got to
All
go.
right, bye, Pastor. Oh man, Don, thank you, sir, for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Don, for coming on, because Don is a father and he have a beautiful wife and they have a good relationship. And I believe you knew your wife since you was a teenager or your early 20s, Don. Y'all been knowing each other for a while, for a long time. And when I saw that unit, I said, man, this is something that I want. You know, I love to see educate. First of all, I thought Don was in his 20s, 40-something years old, a father, and educated in business, in real estate. And he had one conversation with my mother. And it's hard to change the way my mother thinks. She's in her 50s. She's stuck in her ways. But they had a conversation about real estate, and my mother, she didn't pass the first time, so she's taking the test again in October. So make sure y'all pray that she passed that real estate exam. But I do want to thank Don because he instilled that knowledge in my mother, and now my mother, she just real estate on YouTube all day, every day. So I do want to thank that brother for that as well. I want to thank the women in the chat that got their man on, that don't have their man on child support. Y'all have a good partnership. You're doing it outside the court, and keep the court out your business. I want to say that as well. So I want to appreciate that. And I'm standing up for all the good fathers. I believe I want to say thank you to the good fathers like Marquise, Pastor, you doing your thing, and thank God for that. Thank God for the good fathers. And for the fathers, is not do right for your child. You know, do right for it. And it's unfortunate that a lot of women have, you know, they love the thugs and the man in prison, but you knew he was doing this. And I do feel for my nieces that they have to grow up without their father, because their father is spending the rest of their child in prison. So it's sad. But this is why I come in as the uncle, as a good representation of that. It's difficult because I have to tell them, say, you ain't my daddy, which is fine. I understand where that comes from. That comes from that spirit of rejection and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to ever change against my nieces. This is why I work so hard for them as well. So I do want to say shout out to the good fathers out there. Y'all are appreciated, even though society don't say it enough. They $1 billion thing for Mother's Day, but Father's Day, you rather get a card or a chicken wing for free, right? So I think we need to do more for fathers that's out here, like even the ones that don't have a state for the child, and really for those that's taking care of children that's not there, they're not by blood, and doing, and you just good in the community, taking the guys out, the children out in your neighborhood, taking them fishing, them ain't your children. I want to say congratulations to our good, mentors and people that's really a good role model to the kids. So I want to say thank you to that. Don John said, I am creating a course. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what's up. He creating a course. And I can't wait to see Bishop. I can't wait to say that. Bishop. I can't wait to say it. I love that. Marquise, I just love how you saying that you can be in the gay community, LGBT identified, and still preach the word and still be in church, still be saved. I love that. I mean, talking to you was great. Talking to Apollo, I understood that because I was on the crossroad with that. But when I saw that picture of him singing with those gay men in that room, most of them were bottoms, I knew, okay, he's going back you're going to go back to what you know. And I think that you were honest when you said you're running away from your true identity. And when he was there, he was comfortable. And I think he was over religious. Like you learn a new scripture, you just over. But we're going to see if you truly deliver. We ain't got to say nothing. We just going to watch your work. Because if you deliver from drugs, we can tell you, okay, it's time will tell if you truly did. So when I saw that was questionable, I would say. Because if you were in a party, Marquise, with gay men doing he would judge you. So I think he still held up to that same type of judgment. Why were you in a gay event with gay men singing? You weren't preaching. Get right with God. Get delivered. You on your way to hell.
He had no Bible or nothing.
No Bible, no oil. He was in a happy birthday.
And while we're not talking about that tonight, we're not talking about that tonight. But I got to say, I just live and tell the truth, right? Okay. Even if my truth is not well received, right? I don't have anything other than who I am. And if I find out tomorrow that I am wrong and that I have misled people, I won't need an Apollo, to call me out. I will call myself out and sit myself down, but that ain't the case. I just refuse to go to hell for telling a lie. If I go to hell for something, it's going to be something else. It won't be for telling a lie. But yeah, I'm really praying for him because, that is it's a tough position to be in where you want to be free and authentic, but you're stuck. That's not a good feeling. So I can't laugh but so much at him because I also feel for him. I really do.
I do. And there was a singer that did Tutti Frutti. What was his name? He dealt with that same problem.
Yeah, you talking about Lil Richie.
Lil Richie dealt with it because he said he was delivered.
Ain't nothing little about Apollo. Apollo thick now, so you can't.
Right. Apollo is thick. And so he dealt with that. He said he was saved. Up until the end, I think he was conflicted. And that comes from childhood trauma.
Religious trauma.
Yeah. It comes from religious trauma. Yeah, I dealt with it, still do with it. And I think
I still deal with it.
It affects me. So I'm like, oh man, is this really right? Now you could be a bisexual. Because at one point, we never talked about bisexuality. Just gay. You just gay. I never heard, you better not be no bisexual. That never came up. I learned that later. You know what I'm saying? I thought the B stands for LGBT as bottom. That's what I thought it said. I thought the T stands for top. So it's expanding that. So I just think, so I go on and when I see Marquise, I just get into that subject matter because I'm reminded of that episode because I go and play that episode back. And it's, oh my God, it was so entertaining. But now I just feel for that brother. And I hope for anybody that deal with that, I hope that they understand. I want to live peaceful in my life. I don't want to be in hell on earth. I want to know who I am and live in it and be peaceful at it. I just think people have to get, and that comes with getting mentors like yourself, getting into therapy. You know what I'm saying? Really understanding the scripture because the scripture have been twisted up to just destroy people's lives. There was video just recently around. I want to say you don't supposed to go down on the man, and the women don't supposed to go down. Remember see that video?
I said she can't preach at my church, honey.
Right. And so married pastor say I'm married, and they ain't scripture. I ain't with that. You lost me right there. So, but people preach that.
That's because don't nobody want to go down on her. That's all.
Because she right. And so. But people, they weaponize the scripture to fit their own agenda. And you can find one scripture and just boom, 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 and just go at it. I mean, they did it in Kojic with Bishop Patterson. They didn't want women in the pulpit, but he said you will bring the politician that stink like liquor, but a holy woman couldn't be in the pulpit. Because for a long time, still to some churches, believe that women are not supposed to be permitted in the pulpit. They're supposed to be in the bedroom married or in the kitchen frying chicken.
Okay, Wiley, we're not talking about child support no more. But
so I didn't have to just say that.
Look, but this is your show. This is your show. So we can be off subject if you want to.
Right,
but
I didn't have to say that for an point because I saw that video come down my timeline because I just had to say it because I saw you there. But nevertheless, we're gonna bring you back to get into that because we go on and on and on about that. But this is why I want to say that I don't want to date a woman with children. And I want to say we get together, we stand together. We have to be on another one. We're gonna be like Will and Jada. Because I don't want to have to deal with child support and something like that. This is why I want to say this is going to be harsh. I'd rather adopt. If you don't do right, I shift you back to the group home. So I would rather adopt you. If you don't listen to the rules, bye-bye. You go back to the group home. I give me another group. It's like if you get a pair of pants or a pair of shoes don't fit, you can ship it back to Fashion Nova and get you a new pair.
Wow,
I probably would do that.
That's foster parenting, not adoption. You just don't adopt. You can't just adopt the child and send it back.
Well, I would be a foster parent. The parent that you can ship them back if you don't do right, and it'll be a trial process before I adopt you. If you're obedient, then you'll go up there. If you don't, you get your black hand back to that group home, okay?
Wiley, you don't have no children, right?
No, I don't have any children. Okay,
but
when I'm saying it, because children.
Wiley, I got two words for you. You ready? Lift both your hands. Pull out. Okay.
Okay, but you can.
Please don't bring no children into this world, please.
But no, honestly, I'm just having fun. But in a difference of because children are different now. It's a different time to have children. I mean, iPads, phones, it's different. They have a different approach of they don't want to listen. Some of these kids don't. So I just don't have the patience. Thank God I don't have it, because I won't be
because
here.
It takes a mature adult to be a father or a mother. Just because you have the ability to procreate does not mean that at the end of the day, I believe that my son will be a product of whatever is instilled into him. The responsibility of fatherhood does not stop after the sperm fertilizes the egg, and you're not doing a good job just because you're current on child support. You are responsible.
Wait a minute. But people think that
you are responsible for developing a child. Like, you have to teach it what is right versus what is wrong. And a lot of the issues of our children come from lack of parenting in general. So y'all want to talk about me being gay or bi or whatever you want to label me as. One thing I will not do is shirk my responsibilities of raising another human being, making sure that they have a moral code, making sure that they know right from wrong and how to treat people, how to love people, unconditionally and without reservation. Like, you're just not a good parent because your child has on name brand clothes and goes to a good school. Like, I'm going to brag. My son is a straight A student. He is more woke than most adults, get alone 11-year-olds, and he makes me and his mother proud every day. And although me and his mother are not together, he oftentimes brings both sides of our family together because we celebrate his accomplishments. It's not about where we are now. It's about the community coming together to raise that child. So it does take a village, but nothing will replace a father. And it does not matter whether that father is straight, gay, or asexual. If you are in your child's life, it makes a world of difference. And I am a living testimony to that.
That's facts. 1,000 bajillion%.
And my son got a girlfriend, for those of you in the comments. Like he 11 years old, but he likes girls. And, my blood didn't have sugar running through his veins, and and my influence of being a openly LGBTQ pastor didn't turn him. Like, he is a straight A student.
Right, like girl.
Like,
yeah.
We gotta
see that look. They say so. Let's just talk about it then. Let's just go on and talk about it. Let's address the elephant in the room, right? Like, a lot of people would assume just that nonsense that because this young man is being raised by a gay black man, that somehow, some way, the gay black man is influencing gay thoughts and these gay things on him. You know what I mean? It's just that shit just blows my mind. Because at the end of the day, think about it. You knew what you went through. Wiley, you knew what you went through.
Absolutely.
So think about that shit. Like, why would you want to put that on a baby?
Absolutely.
That's
first and foremost. For us, for me, that's common sense. That's a no-brainer. That, for me, if Wiley say you want to have a kid, you say you want to have. For me, that's the last thing on my mind that comes. When it comes to a parent, that's the so. But those are people who live in fear, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Those are
and
people
if you're not ready for what happens when you have sex, because let me tell you something, good sex is not a busted nut. Good sex is y'all done got me out here now. If you can't take care of a child that you produced in a moment of passion, then I don't mean no harm, but I wouldn't want you inside of me if I were a woman.
That's true. Most women want them type of guys.
I don't mean no harm, but there is something that is just not sexy about a man that won't take care of his responsibilities. So I want to talk to the sisters for a moment. Like, step your I can't say it because I'm step your pussy game up. Think more highly of yourself than to let this person ravage your insides for 25 minutes you know, and then you act like you just all of a sudden, I thought he was going to be a good daddy. No, he was never about, you know, we got to take care of ourselves so that the government isn't left to catch up the slack, because it's not built for that. You know, because like you said, you pay your child support, but that still does not mean that your children are going to turn out as moral citizens or adults. Like that's just we got to do better. We got to do better.
Yes. They said 25 minutes, Wiley only lasted 6. And that, wait, but yeah, I did, but I was
Come on, man.
but with guys, it was way more than 25 minutes. So is that make me like enjoy women more than guys?
Moon Goddess said, too bad gay men can't get pregnant. We might be having a whole different conversation if we could. And I'm just going to keep it real to you. I might have a whole lot more than one. So you are absolutely right, Moon Goddess.
I would probably have an army.
Right.
I would have an army. Absolutely. I would have an army.
Wow. I just want to know how Nate know you only last 6 minutes.
Because I put that on. I told the people that I lasted 6. I think it was less than 6. So I was excited. It was the best of my life, and that was the second woman I had sex with. That was the best of my life. And with guys, last or some I don't even.
He said it was the best. He said
it was the best.
Because it was a natural feeling.
It was a natural. It was just like, oh my gosh, I got a car, or like I have, like you had like a success, like you had a win. It felt like, wow, it felt, and I was conflicted from that moment. I was very,
man. Like say, man, like that's the appeal of sugar walls, bro. That's the appeal of sugar walls.
It really had, Don. I'm telling you, it had me to question, like, but damn. Is I really like women only? Like I was very conflicted. I was confused. I would say, can I say that? I was confused.
Wiley, just to put things in perspective. I'm being in all seriousness. It's gonna sound like it's not, but this is real. In all serious, that is what men kill for.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Think about it like I'm dead serious. That is what men kill for. That is what men do. Everything they do to impress these women for that.
For what? What is that?
The sugar walls.
Is that what you call it when they make you nut quick? Sugar wall.
No, I'm just saying that. No, what I'm saying is like that feeling. Like there's no, well, for me, there's no feeling like Wiley felt that kind of penetration for the first time.
Yeah,
ain't nothing like that feeling.
But when you're disciplined, should no feeling make you just?
No. What I'm saying is,
no.
Listen, what I'm saying. I'm saying is, a woman's canal holds that much power over a man to where he would kill over that feeling.
That's true. Because in the Bible it happened. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's just and so that's what when these thinking about the movie Scarface and all these mafia movies, it always come down to the poo nanny.
Helen of Troy. Go back to the history will show you the war.
Look at every movie. I swear, every movie you see with a superhero, at the end of the day, some cooch could attach to the movie. Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Superman, Batman, all of them surround the cooch.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And let me not leave my brother out here by himself. Wiley, I got married on April the 2nd. And before I got married, I did not touch my wife sexually. I did it like the Bible speaks, right? But when I came home from work on May 2nd, on our 30th day being married, she told me coming home that she was pregnant. And I said, now who? Because I didn't think that, it could happen that quick. But let's just say the soldiers went marching. The saints went marching in, But the point I'm making is I ain't going to leave you out there by yourself now. We got pregnant in a 30-day time span. So
Wow.
It's real. What Don is saying is real. There's some power there. There is some power there. And that's why I believe that the tree in the Garden of Eden was not, it wasn't no apples on that tree. I really think that tree was, because the Bible says that Eve gave it to Adam.
Wait a minute. Okay.
And then the Bible says that I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny.
Okay.
And then the Bible says that after that happened, Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and had Cain, and he knew her again, and she had Abel. There was no record of sex happening until after the serpent, which was a snake.
And what is the apple the shape of? That sweet middle part. Say, man, I can see the story. I can visualize it just like Marquise.
I'm just here to tell y'all, when you get freed from religious trauma and you read, now let me go further, because y'all think I'm just manipulating the scriptures, right? But the Bible says that Jesus is coming back for a bride, right? For a church without spot or wrinkle, right? Without spot or wrinkle is not talking about her dress being ironed and pressed. Without spot means there is no blood spots on the sheets.
I never thought about that.
I'm just here to tell you. Christianity is a highly sexual religion.
Yes.
And
Roman
when
Catholic
I see the blood, I'll pass over you. When I see the blood, he ain't talking about the blood of Jesus on the cross. He's talking about the blood of menstruation. Because when people got married back then, if they had sex and there was no blood, both of them would be stoned.
Yes, because that means you broke the covenant.
All of these, the best. I'm telling y'all look it up. And if y'all tell me, if I'm lying, I wouldn't lie. Just put it that way. I wouldn't lie. Go look it up. Jewish customs of marriage. The best man's job during the reception was to stand outside or even inside the bedroom while the bride and groom consummated. And his job was, after they climax and finish, there should be blood on the sheets, because the woman, being a virgin, her hymen would not have been broken. So the act of sex would break her hymen and would cause blood. If there was no blood on the sheets, when the best man got the sheets, he had to bring the sheet out of the room and hold it up to the people at the celebration. And when they saw, when the father of the bride, and when they saw the blood, the celebration would continue. If not, both of them would be stoned. That's why when Mary got pregnant with Jesus, Joseph was going to put her away quietly so that neither of them would get killed. And the angel had to go to Joseph and say, look, don't do it, because what happened to Mary is not what you think happened. So y'all got to just read y'all's Bible. I'm just telling you, it's right there before our eyes, but we so, oh, holy glory, that we don't look at what's being presented to us. This is a very sexual religion that most of us subscribe to. And there it is, bougie Barbie. They would, if the women were not a virgin, they would kill animals and fake it and make it look like there was blood, but they were really not. And that's how we got here. So all this stuff we hear in church about when I see the blood and the blood, all of this stuff is references to sexual purity.
Yes. This all has, well,
you got to be careful when you go put your stuff in.
I'm not the religious person, but he's on to something. I don't believe in.
Believe that. That's
It's just truth. But it's, for me, it's all. I'm not gonna say it's fake. I don't want to demean any religion by saying it's fake, but these are truly not the words of God. No. You know what I mean? And so I'll just keep it that way. These are truly not the words of God, so they can be interpreted any way. I like the way you broke it down, because at the end of the day, there's truth in it.
Correct.
You know,
and I'm gonna say one other thing, Don. I'm sorry to cut you off, Don. But one more thing. The reason why the Bible talks about men lying with men, but not women lying with women in the Old Testament, is because in the Old Testament times, men would be the prostitutes.
Yes, because this is going back to Constantine.
A woman, it was a death sentence for a woman to be a prostitute. Look at it.
Okay.
Wiley,
Give it a historical context. Okay. All right. Yeah, he was. Because some
Wiley,
still believe
it's
it.
it's true to it. Think about it, because that's from Constantine, man. Constantine, them and the Roman Catholics. You got to realize, if you want to dive deep into like the whole religion thing, every religion you see that has a book was created by the Roman Catholics.
Everyone.
I'm talking about Islam, Christianity, Judaism. All of these come from the Roman Catholics. If you look at, I ain't even gonna break it down and just go into the 13 families, but all you got to do is look into the papal families.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look within those families, you'll see which ones, or control which religions. And so all this stuff is just, I'm not saying it's mere fantasy and stuff, but it's really astro theology. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So this really is just a lot of zodiacs and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all a science. And what Marquis saying is true, and what a lot of others are saying is true, man. Just our generation is not going to hold deep to these words like our grandmothers did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're seeking knowledge and we're seeking truth, whereas they were looking for a savior. You know what I mean? They were looking for someone, a leader to lead them, and we've seen so much shit that, we passed that point.
Correct.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So
Lord, that man, but it's good to have these conversations. It is so good to have these conversations. Look how God works. Now you can follow Marquise. That's his YouTube page. Marquise H is on the screen here. Type it in your phone. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat so y'all can go and subscribe to his channel. This is his second time being on the show. First time was an ambush, but he handled his way to us the other time he was here. But I want to make sure I give his YouTube channel so y'all can go over there and click on it and subscribe. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. But yes, religion is it's so important. Understanding religion, and it's so good to be educated. But unfortunately, but like Bishop Jake said, he said church is different type of church. It's not a one church. Everybody have their perspective of what church is. If you like the traditional church, if you gay, you going to hell, okay, go to that church. If you like a more church, they wear jersey, they do backflips, they do, AI technology, they bring a bunch of roses and play with themselves on there. Go to that church. They do like demonstrations, they do all type of stuff. I believe the other pastor came on a horse. So it's so many churches. Whatever you
was
feel.
my bishop. That was my bishop. Hold on.
That was on the
that
horse.
was much. That was much.
Right, but it's a church where you can go to if you want a church where they rebuke your yoni, if you put your furniture in Paris, you have a child out of wet. It's churches for you. So I just think, and that's what made me wake up, that it is a church. That every church ain't the church that I grew up under that saying you're going to hell for everything. If you sneeze wrong, you're going to hell. So, but it's a church for you, and I think that's the point of what Pastor Marquise have taught us, that there is another way. And that whole debate, him and Apollo, he showed another perspective, because Apollo was coming scripture. And I think he could be questioned that was his perspective of who taught him about the scripture, their interpretations, all about whoever interpret, even in the Bible, different writers, their interpretation of an event versus this person interpretation. It all depends on which interpretation you believe, because the Muslim, they're divided. The Jewish community, they got the conservative Jews, more liberal Jews. Everybody have their own identity. Like black folks, all black people ain't the same. You got some black folks that you're going to hell if you gay. You wear pink, you're going to hell. Some black folks, I'm with it. So it's not a one group think the same type of spirit. Everybody have their own spirit of how they think of this thing. But it's so good to bring Marquise on. But I can guarantee you they're going to be saying that he twisting up the scripture. This is blasphemy. Wiley, stop playing with God. Because they said that a lot when you came on. I mean,
I got another one, Wiley. Since we're talking about child support, and I told you the word of the day was pull out. Pull out. Right? Right? Okay. Well, a lot of people think that it is a sin to masturbate because they misinterpret a biblical scripture where God told a man, listen to what I'm telling you. God told a man when his brother died, God told the man, you need to marry his widow, your brother's wife, marry your brother's wife, and give your brother a child by her. And Onan, the man's name was Onan. He was like, I ain't doing that. That's my brother's wife. That's nasty. He said, I will have sex with her because, she might be thick or whatever. But what I'm not about to do is give her my seed so that she can have a baby by me. And the Bible says that when Onan got ready to climax, he pulled out and he spilled his seed on the ground. And the Bible says it made God so angry that he killed Onan right on the spot. And from the color purple, he died on top of her. And now we have taken that to mean that jacking off is a sin because you spill your seed. And that ain't the truth. God killed him because he disobeyed God. God said, get her pregnant. But we're not even going to get into the whole, why would God tell a man to marry his brother's wife and get her pregnant? Because we ain't going to get into that. But the point is, when you read the Bible at face value, it will have you doing a whole bunch of stuff that we don't believe in culturally today. So you got to be, that happened to Kevin Samuels. Woo. You got to be careful how you interpret the scriptures. But I'm going to tell you, if you got to do it, pull out, practice self-control, self-discipline, enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination. That's why they call it coming, because when you come, you've arrived.
Yes.
But if you enjoy the journey, you'll be all right. You can last longer than 6 minutes. God bless you. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done preaching.
Because because me personally, I enjoy the whole masturbation part. I enjoy it. I feel like you don't have to, and I think that's the main piece of me not having children is because of self-pleasure. Because I like being by myself. I like it.
You don't know what you like until you can help yourself, honey. You don't know.
Right. And so, but then also I like to enjoy it with a partner as well. But I don't mind if and man, you gotta release. I remember you said to Apollo, he said you gotta release that energy because it's gonna come out somewhere. It's gonna come out. That's what wet dreams come about. Because he said he don't masturbate. He says against guys, it's sin to masturbate. He said you got to release that energy. That's why a lot of people have something like that. You said because y'all was in a literally heated debate. Mm-hmm. Because in scripture, my pastor would tell us you can't masturbate, you're going to hell. Or old folks would say you're gonna go blind. My grandmother told me. I ain't blind yet, but
I ought to be just as I ought to have eyes.
So, but it's just something, man. It's so good that you got that. Now, where did you get it from, though? Honestly, like, your perspective, because typically you probably went to a traditional church that didn't teach that. So where did you learn?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to seminary, and I know people are scared of seminary, but I'm gonna tell you something. I am blessed because I had a Jewish professor. My professor was Jewish, and he understood the original context and the writing of the scriptures, and he really was able to put the scriptures in proper context for me, and it really helped my formation. Now, about semen retention, a man's body is going to reabsorb most of the semen. You got to remember that sperm and semen are two different things. They come together when we ejaculate, and your body produces semen all the time. And if you don't release it, it will eventually reabsorb back into your body if you don't have a nocturnal emission or a wet dream. So yeah.
Yeah, I it's so good to have this conversation. I am enjoying listening to you. I really like your interpretation of the scripture. They saying it to Pastor. I told you, like, y'all got to join his service on Sundays. And now that it's on YouTube, I can share it so you all can see his services because he do it every Sunday. Pastor Jeffrey does it. And he go live on Facebook and YouTube. I think you do a multi-stream. Facebook.
I did, and I'm not talking about sex all the time on my services.
No, he's not. He talking about the scripture.
But if you want to hear my teaching, you can go to, I think, YouTube or either our app. And you want to look for Saved, Sanctified, and Sexual. That's the teaching that I did on all of what we're talking about right now.
Saved, Sexual, and Saved. What did you say?
Saved, Sanctified, and sexual.
Saved, sanctified, and sexual. I'm actually going to watch that myself, so we can have that. Ooh, Lord have mercy. It's
a series of videos. So
I have to watch because I love hearing your voice about that, bringing you on, talking about the scripture. And everybody have an idea. You got some people, money, money, money. I want money, 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 money. And then some say you only holy if you poor. You look poor. If you got to be meek, you got to look dirty. And some people believe in that thing. I'm going to heaven. I ain't got nothing. I'm broke. I'm struggling. But you got some that say it's all about different people's perspective about the scripture. But thank you all, brothers and sisters that are listening, that came through. And I dropped the because I know Pastor you have to go. But thank you all. Thank you, Don, for coming on.
Wait, wow. Okay, yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, I got to bring y'all back on about it. And also, Don, he's gonna come back on for us about the real estate stuff because we have a special guest that's gonna join us. Enjoy because we got to break down some cases dealing with real estate fraud and how can you know what I'm saying, and break that down. So once I believe I talked to you, Don, hopefully we could try to squeeze that in on tomorrow, but because it's a lot of cases out there dealing with real estate fraud. So we gotta get into that on tomorrow or whenever we can go live together. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm gonna do my close remark. Thank you, brothers, for coming on.
I appreciate it, Wiley.
Thank you. This was really good today, having this conversation about I would say is it evil to pay child support? Is it evil for the black man? Is child support evil for the black man? It's so good to get those different perspectives on as well. But I want to drop the link if anybody want to say something. I want to make sure that we got the general public able to give their point across about that. Also, y'all got some religious stuff as well. Y'all got some religious talk as well, but it's a blessing for that. They said great topics and show. Yes, amen to that. And I want to say thank y'all. Y'all made me better. And I saw him down my timeline, Pastor Marquis, saw one of his videos. And I said, I got to bring him on my show. They said pull out, no child support. And I thank God for that. And I thank God that I wasn't reckless with women. I thank God. And I only had one case recent, about in February, that nothing happened. Okay, that's what she say now. If she end up pregnant months later, then of course we'll do a DNA test. Before I'm just taking her word. She said she ain't pregnant. All right. But other than that, I understand the importance now of protection or pulling out, but just not doing it unless it's my wife. So now, even though I think about it all the time, ain't gonna worry about. I could, Vaseline, OnlyFans, I'm good because I just don't want to have to. And I thank God because she's just not. I don't want to bring a child for a woman like. Even though the yoni was A1, I just feel like the unnecessary drama will come with her first child, baby daddy, and myself. And just the whole dynamic of it, because my goals don't align with her goals. Okay. So I thank God that it did not happen. So now I still have a choice to find that woman that is going to be a good partner. We don't have to necessarily be together in the same household, but we have a great understanding, a great team to raise this child to be a productive person and a master in this world. But other than that, I thank God it did not happen, at this moment, because I still got a lot more work to do. I got a lot more work to do for myself, and I'm not ready to be a father yet, right? I got to work on my patience, and I thank God for my nieces that they're really instilling in me in patience, because children, especially girls, they're a little sassy. But thank God that I could see, like, okay, I ain't ready, because I love my quietness. I fled to Chicago so quick, it was getting on my nerves. I said, let me go to my quiet place. And I believe parents need a quiet place. And unfortunately, some people don't have the square footage for a quiet space, because children don't care nothing about quietness. So I'm thank God I ain't got to hear the kids, but I do miss them. And it's something, because I see kids cry. I thought about my niece and nephew. Sit down. I ain't at home, And I'm so used to having kids around. Like, I'm at home with my mom and my nieces. And so coming here, it felt a little different. Like, it was quiet. Ain't nobody making noise. I got to say, shut the door. Shut up. Shut up. Pick the potato chips up. No, you can't get it. You ain't my daddy. Shut up. And he got my little baby niece. Shut up, Uncle. And I'm like, oh. Then I want to stand up. Hey, sit down. And because now you can't. When I was coming up, there wasn't no talking. Pow! That's what you did back in the day. But you can't do that now. You just got to take it. And one day, they teamed up on me with that disrespect. And I couldn't discipline them. So you know what I did? I stood up. And I walked out, put on my music, and I listened to Jesus Can Work It Out. That's all I could do. Because I'm not the parent. Them ain't my children. So I understand my place. So I stood up, put on these black Beats headphones, and I listened to Jesus Can Work. I started listening to gospel music or audible book, and I zone it out. Because I said, wow, and eventually, hopefully when they get older there, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I just take it, they're just something. I'm waiting for you to go home. And then I miss them when I go home. They cook, I miss them daily. I miss them. But I needed a break. And I believe every parent need a vacation. And I pray that my mother could be able to experience a vacation. I'm so glad that she was at Jamal Green event. Shout out to her, talking about real estate. I was glad that she able to get a vacation. That's my prayer, that my mother is able to get a vacation. I want to work so hard, accomplish where I can give my mother rest so she can have a vacation and enjoy her life. And that's like my prayer, that she can just enjoy life, and she felt so refreshed when she can go out, just being, because it's hard it's like a prison that you just in the house all day with kids, and you just never could go outside and just get your hair done and get your nails done, get your toes done, get a massage. And when I said, Mom, I'm gonna take you, you can get pampered that day so you can have a good day. She couldn't do it because she has so many responsibilities that she taken on. It is painful. Yes, it is. It's painful, but I pray that she can get out of that bondage of all of these leeches. That's my prayer. I pray for that every day, that she can get away from all of that leeches and have a vacation. And I thank God that I was smart enough and lucky, I would say, that I don't have that. I can go and get on the flight and come here. Like my grandmother said, you always going back and forth. Good. I thank God that I can do that. I thank God. I love that freedom that I can get on that flight. Ain't got to worry about no kids. It's me knocked out on the plane. Get out there, take my luggage, and enjoy my life. I thank God for that. But do I want children? Yes. I want at least one, a maximum two, a boy and a girl. That's my max. But if I have 6, but I want somebody that I love, that when I come in the room, that I love, that is love there. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I just thank God that I don't have it now, because I was like, oh, because children is a lot of work. There's a lot of work, and I want my space. Say me and my mama both need a vacation. The children, okay, it's the world BS for me. Yes. And so the world, like women need a break where you could just enjoy life. Fathers that are doing good, providing for their children, need a break and with their wife or their partner, where they can come together and just enjoy life. And I was reading this book, and I know y'all tired of me talking about it, but I was reading a book called The Disruptor by Bishop T.D. Jakes. And in the chapter, he was talking about, in one of these chapters, he was talking about how he had food at the table. His mother and father made sure holiday they have food at the table. So Bishop T.D. Jakes will get together every holiday. He will cook all the food, dinner rolls, cinnamon rolls. He will cook all his dinner. And he said his children came in the house with bags of McDonald's, and he was so hurt and upset that why would you come in the house with McDonald's and I'm slaving at the stove cooking all these beans and pies and ham and turkey. And the children said to their father, we pre-K, we PK, okay? We preachers kids. We always get turkeys, ham, and cakes. What we want is that we can have a time with you only, with no distractions. And then that made Bishop T.D. Jakes go back to the drawing board and said, okay, I'm going to take a vacation with my family when I'm not being distracted from church business or my business, T.D. Jakes enterprise. I could just focus. So every vacation is traditionally where he's there, him and his wife, they're able to just enjoy being there with his family. And that's what matters. But it was so good, hearing that in that book and understanding that children just want the presence of their father or their mother, not just necessarily the money. That's great, but a child remember the experience. And that's why, I believe Bishop T.D. Jakes, he was talking about, he gave his children something, a dinner, something he gave them, not a car, but it was something simple. And they remember that simple thing when they were able to spend time together. Now, he bought them cars. They never mentioned a car. They just missed that interaction that they had. They remember that. And I reminded, and we're talking about children, it's not always about the money, because my grandfather, he wasn't my biological grandfather. He was my stepfather, father, right? But he treated me like I was his grandson. And I remember us going outside, going to his home, and he had a dog named Dollar, and we would go there. And me and my brother Darius will be there, and he was just great. Didn't have no money, broke. He was a drug addict. We didn't know it, but he was I would say a functioning, heroin addict, how you want to look at it. But we never seen him shoot up heroin. We learned this once he was gone with the Lord. But he was always, when we went there on the weekend, he played. We went out to the park. I mean, we played all day, walked all day. There wasn't no car. He had no money for no bus fare. We was in the basement. He had a basement apartment, lived with his mom, but he was there for us. And to this day, we have so many memories of our grandfather. And at his funeral, we cried. All of us cried like a baby, because we remember the relationship we had. And I remember that funeral so much because my mother, which I've never heard sing unless playfully, she was singing at my grandfather's funeral. That would have been her father-in-law. So she was just, she did really, and I just remember that, how we were crying for our grandfather. It wasn't because he bought us a car. He didn't have it, but we remember him spending time with myself and Precious. Be considered my cousin, and we just would play. We just remember that Dorian and Joseph, we all of that generation, when we all come together, we remember our grandfather, of how he spent time with us, and that have lived on. He's been dead for like years, more than 12, 13, 14, probably 15 years he's been gone. But I just remember him and him being there for us and spending that quality time. For that is priceless. And so that's what children, I believe, want, because I still remember those days. And we was in the kitchen area, and I think he was making us a grilled cheese sandwich. Me and my brother Darius was there, and my grandfather, he was telling us about his struggles with drugs, being on drugs. He said, don't do drugs. I was in the Vietnam War, and we didn't know what that was. I said, okay, blah, blah, blah. We just wanted our grilled cheese sandwich. But I remember that conversation that he was giving us. Me and my brother Darius, we were children. We was in there, and he was instilling in us of what not to do. And I remember him every single day. When I ever go to that neighborhood, memories, I'm just flooded with memories of that. And his mother is still alive to this day. I believe she's about almost 95, 96, 97. She's up there, and she's still alive. We couldn't sit on her couch. We couldn't be in the living room. I don't think she ever received us as her grandchildren, right? I felt the energy, like the tension. You can feel it. But we didn't care, because we came to see our grandfather. We knew you was mean lady. But I understand. And we was there because she didn't agree, whatever the reason was. But I just remember the love of my cousin Precious, beautiful, of my cousins. And just we love our grandfather. We was all in that basement. I mean, all of that. We had a ball. And then my mother was like, well, what do y'all do over there? I said, he'd take us outside. We watch TV. We watch the Cartoon Network. When we finally, we make sure we were there. We just had a great interaction with. It was just awesome. And I could just remember, we going out. We would be excited we would be so excited. Me and my brother, we would be so excited. And then later on, I think one of my sisters was able to come. I think she was at the age she would come. But me and my brother Darius, we really enjoyed that because we were able to experience that. It was like the best fun. Even like my grandmother, now that she's sick, the reason why I do so much for my grandmother is because she was there. The quality time she spent with me, the quality time in the car listening to 1390 John Hannah, taking me to school, ironing my clothes, cutting up my pancakes. Like, she was so good, making sure I was well fed. I was spoiled. They would tell, like, you spoiled it. I was very spoiled. She would pick me up. I'll be in that front seat in that little bitty car, knees up to the thing. She'll make sure my stuff is clean and ironed, but she couldn't afford to put it in the cleaner, so it was straight front up to my ankles. Oh, I love my grandmother. Food was cooked. And so I just love her. And I still love her to this day. And she's in her 80s. Though she's sick, and she's more needy, but I still do it because that's my grandmother, because she was there for me when I was needy. Grandma, I need this. I need $20. I need this. I need this, grandmother. I need $10. I need new shoes. They talk about my shoes. And I remember when I was getting bullied, my grandmother reminded me, she said, remember you was getting bullied and I came up to the school? They didn't bully you again. My grandmother came up to the school and said, y'all stop bullying my grandson. He don't bother nobody. The reason why he don't fight back, because he believed in the scripture, turn the other cheek. And I was saying to myself, well, damn, I'm tired of turning the cheek. They kicking my ass up in this school. They was kicking my ass. Pow! Get slapped. Punch. Paper slap. Pow! And I believe, turn the other cheek. But I said, F this, because my pastor, he instilled that fear of don't fight back. You might knock him out and delete them, right? I said, okay. So I started using my mouth. I was lethal with this mouth. And I would get you together. Your mama, your daddy. I'll wait for parent-teacher conference, see who daddy looked raggedy, who mama, she was dirty, raggedy, a little musty. I said the next day in school, let him punch me and slap me. And I stood up, he hit me. I said, at least my mama don't stink like cat piss. Sit down, Mr. Wiley. What did you say? F your mama, she stink. I would go at it. Oh, wow, it's so funny. So I was addicted to making people laugh. So people wonder, like, why Wiley make us laugh? I put up that defense mechanism because I wasn't really a fighter with fists. But if you bother me, I'm going to be lethal with this mouth. I study you until I can get me a good old clap back. I was lethal. I didn't play no games in Chicago Military Academy at Bronzeville. Baby, I got tired of getting punched. And they kind of bagged up. Listen, I don't want this man to roast me. I sit in the lunchroom and just do a whole comedy show. And I used to walk up and down in the lunch cafeteria with who else? I used to do it. And yeah, I didn't play no games. And I was a little lethal. And then I started becoming aggressive and lethal in the mouth so much. I just started talking about for the bother. I still talk about it. I said, stop snoring. Why you so fat? Your nose got grease on it. I was go at it. And then I was reminded of that in my IEP meeting. And it was this musty teacher. She was funky. But Mr. John D. Evans, God rest his soul, he said, yeah, we tired of Mr. Wiley getting bullied and people bother him. They be bullying him. And hold on, sir. Why, you don't know this, but I be sitting in algebra. He make fun of the teacher, makes fun of how she talk. He be making fun of the students, but he get mad and get sad and want to cry when people talk about him. He be bothering folks too. And then my mother stood up. I'm the same way. I like to talk about people. I don't want nobody saying nothing back. I got it from her. She admitted it in the IEP meeting. So I just remember I was lethal with the mouth. And it's now I'm becoming old. I just say it. You know what I'm saying? I just use it now in social media, but I was very lethal about it. People think, oh, you so strong. I was conservative with immigrants and illegal people. I said it in debate class, in history class. I said, you go back to Africa. I said, excuse me, miss. My people, we was bought here in ships and chains. We didn't come in here across the board. We didn't do that. They shipped us here. So we stayed here. We fought for these rights. But you people snuck in this country illegally. right? And Sergeant V, which is Latino, he speaks Spanish. He said, Brother Wiley is right. And that lady stood up. I ain't studying you, you cockeyed puto. I ain't know what a puto was. I said, what did she call? Did she call me a poodle? Did she call? I didn't know what a puto was. So I asked one of my Latino friends, I said, what did she just call me? She called you a bitch. I said, you heifer? You call you stone cold heifer? Hussy? And then I had to run because her people was in the gang. The Latin Kings, like she was in the gang. I ran home. I didn't know, like, I'm gonna get you. And she was getting back. Yeah, put her back. English, speak English. Let her pass. Let her pass. And I was scared. My heart, boom, boom, boom. It's beat fast. I'm like, let her pass. Let her pass. So we would get it in, and sure when it was time to get up out of school. I ran to that train on 35th. Woo, I ran to that green line. Ooh, run, Wiley, run. Baby, I was running, limping and running, but I was running. I got up in that train. Whoosh, out of breath. I ran for about like a he wanted to whip my tail, her brothers, and there's a lot of them, about 10, Mexico have a lot of people. I ran them people. Man, whoo, ran on that green line, and I went on the wrong stop. I went the opposite way. I'm supposed to be going to 63rd in Ashland train. I'm on the Harlem train. I didn't care where I was. I was away from danger. That's a little flashback. All right, but I remember that. But back to my grandmother. I remember that quality time my grandmother gave to me. I remember that. And so when I have to change my grandmother, put on clean clothes, and turn her, though sometimes I'm tired, but I remember she was there for me. When my mother had me at 19 years old, my mother didn't have a place. She lived with my grandmother. And my grandmother would change my diapers and raise me when I moved in with her home full time. So I remember. So out of all the grandchildren, the reason why I'm so close with my grandmother, because she was there for me. I credit her for me graduating from high school. I credit her for being that peace for me to go to church. So I fled the streets because of my grandmother. If I didn't have her, I would have picked the streets. I don't know how successful I would have been at. I'd have been like some of my brothers getting caught. I wouldn't have lasted long. Or I could have been evil. I would have been more weird in the street stuff. I ain't gonna get into other type of street stuff that we tried to do. I'll talk about that another day when I do stand-up. But it just all I can say, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I remember one time we was planning on to doing something illegal. And I'm not going to get into, I'll tell you when I stand up and do talk to y'all in New York, but it was something illegal. I was planning with a group of people, and for some odd reason, I couldn't do it. I tapped out. Some I did. I just couldn't do it. And thank God I didn't do it. But I remember that that street life wasn't for me. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And so my grandmother was always that way where I just went to church. It was demanded that I go to church. And I thank God for that because it kept me out of the streets. I was able to graduate. I was able to get my degree from Chicago Military Academy. I was able to walk across that stage. And it's a picture of my auntie and my grandmother just having joy looking at me graduating. My auntie now, she's in her 90s. My grandmother's almost in her 90s. And they were there for me. I just remember that. And so this is why I work the way I work, to keep my grandmother's legacy, to continue it by being a good man, because she raised me with great values. And I appreciate that. I didn't listen to everything. I made some mistakes, but I thank God I'm still here to get it right. And this is why I go back to Chicago and I live there, relocated there, even though I'm just paying rent here, paying it every month. But I have to be there so my grandmother can, my mother can get some help. And the reason why I'm dedicated to my mother is because she birthed me. And I appreciate my mother's and I relationship now more than I did in my childhood. We still struggle. I get into that later on, but I appreciate that because I see my mother is trying, but she's trying because she still got a lot of obstacle and baggage holding her down. She have fences and trauma that's holding her back, but I see her trying to move forward, but she getting pulled back 3 steps back. But until you let go of that trauma, then you can go ahead. But it's hard to try to run a race when you got people doing this. It's hard. You try, but you got to get that off and get through that trauma. But I just pray that she does. But I still remember that. I don't remember this, but she birthed me, right? And so for that alone, I am loyal to my mother because of that. So she didn't have to call. She didn't call. She's not that type of mother who will call for help. She's very stubborn, thinks she can do it all and can't do nothing like that. She can't do all that. But I would just come and just do. And I did that. And a lot of people say, "You stupid, paying rent, going back, stupid dummy." I get that all the time. You homeless, and hear all that. But still, I do it. And it's still dealing with trauma, It has some good days and some days like, oh, what did I get into? But I just thank God that I have the luxury to be able to travel to one place to another place and still not missing a meal. And still the lights ain't cut off, and still, you know what I'm saying? I have a beautiful place. I haven't used this stove in so long. It was smoking. It was because I haven't used it. I said, it's smoking. They said, you ain't using it forever. So I had to get inside to break it in, because I've been gone so long. But I appreciate that because I love my grandma. I will drop everything for my grandmother. She didn't have to ask me. But I was there, and she said, "Marquise, thank you. Thank you. Thank you." But it was her. I was living with my grandmother rent-free, and I was able to go and get my CNA license, right? Or they don't call it license, the certificate, right? I was able to get to be certified, but I was able to live with my grandmother. And at that time, I was living on Inglewood, working all the way to Amherst, went to CNA class on the South Side. I did that, and my grandmother encouraged me all the way. And I appreciate it. I was so happy. And I told my grandmother, look how happy. And she said, "That's so good, son. That's great. God is so good." And she would just make me feel proud to be there. And so I appreciate the good memories when she wasn't. And so I think about that, even though my grandma is the relation is a different dynamic, because I'm more so like the advocate and more so the caregiver, right, for her in certain days. But I just appreciate that because she sacrificed so much for me, and I can sacrifice. And it ain't really much of a sacrifice. I ain't got no kids, right? I ain't leaving no wife or no boyfriend. I ain't got none of that. So I can. So that's why I believe it was a test to see, let me see what kind of character you have as a man. Are you going to ignore your grandmother if she need help? Or are you just going to keep it? And I just went on. And I didn't want to because I like being in Texas. Getting it in. I like it. Right? I like the freedom. No kids. I know everything. Did nobody drink my juice? And I got to throw that juice out. But I got to have stuff forever. Chips ain't touching because I'm the only one here. But she needed me, and I went there. And I will continue to go there as long as she is breathing. As long as I got the strength and I'm able, I would do. Amen. So I appreciate that. Even though it's a different dynamic when I do the show there than when I do the show in Texas. Because you have to be under subjection to somebody else's rules and culture. Culturally speaking, I don't agree with how my mother run her household. But guess what? I sit peacefully and talk when it's sober. But when I feel like I say about 5 minutes and she don't say nothing, I lay my hands up and I move on, right? Because I can't change the culture because you've been living that way since I was a little boy. I don't think you, and to God shift in and change it, or when you ready to change it, it ain't gonna take no change. It's gonna be the same. Well, only difference is you're gonna be older like you is now. So, but I just say, you know what? I'm just going to continue to be the good example as a son and be a good example. She said, you should have children, blah, blah, blah. I said, mother, I will do it when I'm ready. And at least I want to be mentally strong, right? And financially strong. I want them two components. I want it there. I can pull up with my staff. I tell my mother daily. I tell them in and out. I want to pull up with my staff. I want my family to talk to my representative. They signed NDAs like Kurt Franklin did. His family had a whole stack of NDAs. He didn't go in that house until they signed the NDA. Told his auntie, you got to sign this NDA. That's how I want my family. You got to sign NDAs. Oh, we ain't meeting. I won't be there, right? So I just want that luxury, all right? And so my mother said, she don't call me, well, Marquise, you making, they're going to be all calling you and stuff like that. I said, well, let them call or keep that same energy. You don't call me that. I have family members, uncles and aunts that live right here in Dallas. We don't even speak. They don't even come down my block. They don't even text or call. That's fine. But when we get to 100, 300 million, keep that same energy. Don't speak to me. But of course, they all gonna talk. Family, I know I'm there. Hey, man, I'm your favorite. Hey, nephew, player. What's happening? I'm gonna get that. But that's to be expected. When you are a disruptor and you start making income, all the leeches go make you feel guilty. And they already saying smart stuff. One family, you think you all that because you on YouTube and you got people, you think you all that. And I said to this person, I said, first of all, I don't think it. I am all that inside. First of all, okay? It ain't my fault that you stuck with all this trauma and all this mess. I don't have that. So I am all that. Okay? Answer. I don't think I am. So, but seeing my nieces, because children are very observant, and my niece said to me, I want to get a shirt, the Wiley Show, and get it in my set. So I got to give them some in their side. They're very observant. They will watch the YouTube, or they run across the YouTube, they run across the TikTok. They're very observant because in this generation, I'm doing something that is current that this generation is into, and that is social media. My niece don't know anything about television with antennas. It's all digital. This is a digital age. We're going to go progress with that, and I'm in that industry in my family. So that's all I can see. They want to be, especially my older niece. She want to be on camera. She want to do these things, and I could bring the cameras. I have a family channel, but I'm not going to do that because I want my niece to have a childhood and not have it where I'm a creator. Let's make this content. No, I don't want that dynamic, because that's just, you should enjoy your childhood and not work in your childhood, if that makes sense. You're supposed to go to school, make good grades, have a childhood, then you become an adult. Then you decide to become a content creator, because the dynamic and the greed, because I know it will make money. I mean, I got my producer hat on for a good name, but I don't want to do that because greed comes in. And the dynamic change. Then you want the forced moments. You want her to force her to cry to be on camera, do them sick, twisted pranks. You ain't getting no candy. Argue with them, just fake arguing. It ain't organic. Y'all see a little when she begin to get. It's all organic. She's in her feelings, but I don't want it to be forced. Just like I don't like to watch a lot of them prank channels when they pranking the child. I just don't like it. It's too cheesy for me. So I don't want that for my family. I don't want to make that. No. Now, when they become adults, they become teenagers, or they become 18, 19, they want to get into content or whatever, we more established, then yeah. But at this moment, no, let them be children. So when you see them on my TikTok, you'll see my little niece jump up and down, little niece, she do a little dances. I do a little bit, but you ain't going to see them on my TikTok all day, every day. Because I want, he using it for clicks and views. No, we'll every once in a while, we'll get up and do a little TikTok, But other than that, doing a whole full-fledged 85,000 episodes. No, I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not. I love children. They are so much wiser than we were. Absolutely, because they have so much technology. Absolutely, so much technology. So I want to well balance it out. But them children, they do be saying something. I'll be getting them together. But I love them dearly. And I love all my nieces and nephews. I wish that I could be around more when my other brother's kids. My older brother called me today, or called me yesterday, and we day before yesterday, I'm sorry, and we were able to talk. That's my oldest brother, and we have that strong brotherhood. And we still call him, even though most of the siblings don't do that, but I call. And these people are not. He's not my you know how people say biological. He's not, but that's my brother. That's all I know. That's my oldest brother, and that's all. He's older than me by a year, so I always call him like my stepfather. Was he the best father example? No, but I remember when he was good. I remember when he came to the school. I remember when he was, disciplined me when I stole money out of my mother's purse. And he disciplined me. It was a time where they said, I'm going to tell your dad I would cry, and I knew he would whoop my tail. He did. And it was days that it wasn't so good. But I remember, I don't try to pay him back for the bad he did. I just remember the good. So when he was in the hospital and no one called him, none of his mothers the call, they forgot about him, but I called and check up on him, make sure he was okay. And I listened to him. Now the dynamic of it, we have a friendship, and he would talk and tell me things, and I would give advice, or I would just hear him vent. So our relationship dynamic changed, even though I feel like he could live a better life if he do more, but it's not my place to judge him. That's like a character flaw. I do judge a lot of people, so I have to humble myself and allow him to vent, because men do need to vent. But I also want us to know as men that whoever you live with in whatever household you live, I'm going to say this, if you live with someone, they hold the rules. It could be your child. It could be your ex-wife. It could be your friend. If you are living with someone and they paying all the bills, right? The dynamic changes, right? So, but if you want the true freedom where you could just enjoy life and do what you want to do in that bedroom, in your house, then you need to get your own house. You really want true freedom, people to stop telling you what to do. You want to do, you live by your own rule. You need to get your own lease or mortgage. But as long as you living with somebody, is their culture, is their rules. You don't understand what I'm saying? And the only reason why that I sacrifice and go home and help with my grandmother is because the need, I in my perspective, I remember when she helped me. No complaining. Oh, I'm tired of doing this for you. Never complain. She just did it. So I owe it to her, especially when I have the skill set to do it. And why not? You can still work, in which I do, and they shock. Man, you always going to tell you, how can you do that? You can do that with a certificate. You can put your CNA certificate in every state. You ain't got to just be in one state. And as long as you work for a certain amount of hours according to the state rules, you still on the registry in that state. So I do it. And then the director said, man, I heard you live in Texas. And yeah, I do. I live at home now. I got a place out in Texas. So what? You can legally do it. So I don't mind doing it. I don't mind doing it because I would do it I'll do it. I ain't going to do it for everybody. But for somebody like my grandmother, yes. But you can't do that for everybody. But for her, I had to do that. That's my grandmother that was there for me. She was one of them old school grandmas. When it's chaos, you got peace at that type of house. It was peace. It was chaotic being raised in a chaotic house with my mom and stepfather and her friend. That's her current boyfriend. Well, my stepfather friend, that's my mom's current boyfriend. Now, that's a whole story on that. And I was able to flee to my grandmother. And I stayed with her until I became a grown man. And the dynamic changed. It was some drama. And I had to leave. And I went to Texas. And I became a better man in Texas. Now, her health declined. And guess what? The same man that was pushed Okay, this was the perfect opportunity to do this. See, if I would have stayed, this would have never happened. This is the perfect opportunity for get you back. Oh, but no, I forgave you because I was wrong and I was mentally unwell. I was, so I needed some help, mental treatment, evaluation. And now that season is over. Well, I'm doing much better. So now I don't have to give you that revenge. What I'm doing is I'm going to give you treatment and help you being there. I'm giving you that unconditional love. And that's what it is. So now when I go back and I understand I'm doing the best what I can be. Even though I'm going through what I'm going through. And despite all of that, I'm still running an online business, a business where I'm helping people by making them laugh, bringing joy to them. Out of all the chaotic experiences that I'm currently dealing with, I still come up on here, Cardi B, Nicki, Tasha. I'm still dragging these people and entertaining because that brings me joy. That brings me joy. And because of you all, you made it better for my personal life to live more comfortable. I'm in a beautiful bed, right? Right? Beautiful equipment because of the audience. I was cooking eggs. Let me tell you how the gift, and I appreciate the audience because I was cooking eggs. Now, mind you, the thing is smoking. And I said, man, I haven't used this stove. So then it was good now. Then I scrambled up the egg, don't have a bowl. So I put it in a little pan. Because I never used the stove. Only thing, I got 2 plates. I put the chicken in air fry, put it in the plate, eat. So now I want to upgrade like my diet and stuff like that. So, because I live at home. So I said, man, I ain't got no bowls. Anyway, and I ain't have no spatula. Only thing I had is some forks. Some told me, look in the box on your little thing on the kitchen. It was a spatula. Brand new stuff, spoon, spatula, that the audience bought me when I moved in this apartment about 2+ years ago. And I opened it. And it was right there. And that moment made me, I have to appreciate the audience more because they have been there for me. And that's why today, and I'm going to try to keep up with it, I said, I got to do this. I got to do this town hall. Even though I'm tired, my sinuses, whoosh. I said, let me get my black behind up and do this town hall. And I did it because those little things, and I don't even know if that person bought me that box and them spatulas and stuff, is still watching that show. But I want to say thank you because I needed that, right? And I just want to thank you that you appreciate me. And so I look at different items in my apartment that the audience came together from my bookshelf and etc. came together and helped. Even I want to say thank you to Tasha K, the camera that we use it, that she brought us. But we still talk about these people because it's funny to me. And I want to say something really quickly. I know we're in a town hall, but this is me just talking to y'all. Don't you find it quite interesting that Tasha K is posting Boosie and Boosie just taking it like, hey, man, this is funny. I do the same thing. It's comedy. It's entertainment. Do I hate Tasha? No, I'm just making fun. That's it. I'm going my happy way. This is why y'all flock to me because y'all want to see who Riley gonna roast. I was roasting the politician. I can roast, right? So I do that and leave it alone. I ain't pulling up on nobody at nobody event, roughing somebody up. I just talk my mess with my stuffy nose, cut it off, stand up, get the Vaseline, get the OnlyFans account, top stars OnlyFans. Maybe I watch Melvante videos. Him and his boyfriend, they get it in on there. And have my happy business and go to sleep. You know, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. And enjoy my life. Open that refrigerator, all this liquor in there. I ain't gonna sip it because I don't like it. I only drink it if I'm in the presence of company or I'm going out, turn up. Other than that, it's gonna stay there. Bottles is in that fridge, just standing there. Drink me. Nope. Now, if it was in Chicago, they'd been gone in one day. Hey, Marquis, I don't mean no harm. I went in there and drunk that. Man, please. Now, it would have been gone. What liquor? It been gone. But I understand the reason I understand. I get it. And I just thank y'all because y'all are here to watch me vent. They said, Wiley, you helped me through my depression. And guess what, Terry? You helped me by listening to me talk, by engaging with me, help me through my depression. You helped me. I was going through it. I went through hell, mental torment. I was tormented mentally. And I got it together. And I thank you all for that. And I thank myself for listening to the experts and got the help that I needed. Now, they said I needed medication. Well, I disagree with that. Man, please ain't taking that. Get that out of my face. I don't care how you keep sending them in. I ain't gonna keep taking it. And I didn't. I haven't taken that in years. But if something come up, then we'll have a different conversation. But I didn't want to. Absolutely not. I just knew that my issue in my case, I can only speak for me. My case, I believe it was more in my environment. I was in a stressful, toxic environment. Once I got uprooted for this mouth and pushed to Texas, the environment shifted. Then I stepped dealing with that trauma because I wanted to go back to that environment. I wanted to go back to the crack house. I wanted to go back. I'm speaking of anyone really crack house. More trauma. I wanted to go back. I was tormented, depressed, sad because I missed the trauma. And then once we had a breakdown at the library, then the help came. And I was able to get the help. And I got the help. Now, when I open up my mailbox, see all these medications is there. It's just a reminder how far I have came. That if you put in the work, I put it in. I start changing what I eat, taking my health serious, listening to powerful books, changing my environment. It helped me. I'm in a totally different place than where I was back in 2015, 16, 14, back in the 20s when I was in my 20s. In a better place now. I'm living my best life. Going through financial, it could be a little better than that. But I'm doing, I thank God I, putting in work to get more, right? Because, I was talking about Tasha K and her tax day. I got hit with a tax bill. I said, what a minute. They slapped me with a tax bill. All right. You up there trying to grow a business, I see. Wait a minute. Well, sir, in 2019, you paid no taxes. What? Oh, no, you owe us some taxes. My dumb behind didn't. I'm still talking about Illinois. Man, please. One thing I like about Texas, shoot, they ain't got no state taxes. Illinois, baby, they got state and federal taxes. But I didn't change up my bill. I could make an amendment and all that, but it was a teachable moment. But now I'm paying attention to the next tax cut. I'm paying attention to my accountant. I'm keeping better records. Okay, and then some years I didn't even file. Well, you work at this job. Oh, like, what job? I haven't worked there. I only worked there about a good month. It still was an income. I'm like, all right, I'll go file it. I should have told her with Tasha. I think I told her with Tasha. You'll get it next week or tomorrow. I think I said that. You can't do it. So do it immediately, soon. You need to do that. But it's a teachable moment. No one told. And then I'm in a different place because I'm not just with W-2. I have a business that grows in the income. So it's different. I'm learning. Okay? So I'm still learning. I was going off on them people. But it's a teachable moment. And so now I'm learning. And now I got to give me a better accountant that we can have better communication. This accountant, baby, she answers her phone. She does good, I think. But she should have told. She said, yeah, I knew it. I forgot to tell. You forgot to tell me? So now I got to do a better job about my business. So I got to look for me a better accountant. I think this is it. I'm not going to deal with her next year. I got to find me somebody else that the communication is good. Because her communication and some other stuff that we got to talk about is just, she always on a Zoom call. I said, you know what? I can give me somebody else. Me and you ain't going to be able to work. I got to have that communication. It happens to the best of us, Wiley. You are handling better than a lot of people. So, you know what I'm saying? So now I got to, you know what I'm saying? She forgot to tell me. She said, I forgot that you owe this in 2019. I forgot to tell you. So tell them that I forgot to tell. They weren't with that. I'm in whole debates. But, you know, we working it out, got the payment. We working it out. We getting it paid. It came out of my account, and it was only $500. I was just, let's just $500 of back taxes, and we on a payment plan for that. Whew, it wasn't $5 million. Oh, 300,000. We didn't make that type of money. But still, she should have told me. And she didn't. And I didn't ask. I just looked at the little refund and just forgot about it. It's 2020. I forgot about it. Now, I could have made amendments and all of that. And when I get a new accountant, I do that and look more to my finances. This is something else. We got to look at the finance, and I do that. I'm going to give me somebody else. The communication is there, you know. And she was a black woman, because I so believe in hiring my own folks. I believe it. I love hiring black folks. I love it. But we don't know there's going to be a black person next year. It's probably going to be Becky with the good hair. Okay. But, Mr. Goldberg, it's probably going to be something, I don't know. But and then maybe I'll hire her again, because she did great work. Because I talked with her, they said she's doing great work. I just was kind of upset about it. So, but I just don't like the lack of communication is what I don't like. Look for business-friendly states to establish your business home. Delaware or Miami are good ones. I look into that. I'm gonna look into that, because, you know, Illinois is too thin. And someone told me just because you reside in one place, you don't have to have your business in that place. You can establish a business in another state. They said, no, I don't, but I use TurboTax for personal and business to file taxes. So, you know, to let you know that, I'm like, oh my God, that's that. So I had to get through. It's a part of business, man. It's a part of business. It's a part of business, but that's what I had to go through. And so again, I talked to my members some more stuff. We'll chit chat tomorrow, because I really go in with my members. They said facts. No, I don't. Okay. But I just love talking to y'all, because y'all were there for me. I love talking to y'all. So people say it's a financial hit, because I go there and I help in some cases financially too, to help with some things and buy products and different things from my grandmother. And I don't judge. I don't get mad, because she helped me. But it was a strain on my pockets and everything. But after all that, I still pay that rent. I pay it so early, all the fees don't even generate. And I be paying it. They said, sir, I pay it because I do not want to live a life where I don't pay my rent, getting evictions. I never had an eviction. Now, I broke lease and I have to pay a balance, but I never had an eviction, and I don't want to start by being foolish. Okay? So that's why I said, let me go ahead on and pay my my bills. And that's exactly what I did. Okay. All right. So we have an exclusive interview that's going to drop probably Monday. We're still working through the tech issues. The members, y'all saw the raw footage of it, and so the general public will see the edited version. But it's a little tech issues, but it should be. Paul is telling me now it'll be ready by Monday. But we're gonna be patient with Paul, because I caught the mistake, and this will be the last draft, and we're gonna release it on Monday. So I do have to call the guests and let them apologize for that. But when you're running on limited funds and you only have one team member, it's kind of difficult. Do you think the government shutdown is about to happen in a couple of hours? Oh, no, they already passed the bill, a temporary bill for 45 days. Yeah, they already passed a bill for 45 days to keep the government open. Yeah, they did. They passed the bill for 45 days to keep the government open. They passed a temporary spending bill to keep it open for like about 45 days. They say that's right. I did the same, and it was one element to help me become a homeowner. Yes. So they did. Yes. I was waiting to tell you that. I didn't know if you knew. Yeah, I knew. Thank you. My audience on station here told me, because sometimes what I do is when I get off the air, I put my phone on do not disturb so I can enjoy my Wiley time, my me time, my Marquise time. I enjoy my time with Marquise, and Marquise is my first name, not Pastor Marquise. I wish. But no, with Marquise, me, spending time with me where I can reflect on my thoughts instead of getting bombarded with emails and texts and topics all day. So I put it on do not disturb. I was waiting to tell you that. Thank you. So that's how that is. And so, we still talk. And many people would say to us, they said they issue a stopgap, continue resolution for 45 days. I wanted to shut down. Oh, you wanted to shut You wanted to shut down. Yeah. So people say, you ain't talking about. I said, listen, we can talk about other stuff, and we do over here. This was a prime example that Wiley just don't talk about one thing. We talk about a plethora of things. This is what we do on this show, and you see it. And when we do it, it don't get the same amount of views when we talking about messy stuff. I want y'all to know that. Did you see that? Because we start talking about messy stuff, Paul, and then the numbers grow. Right? Because so people say we want positive topics and stuff like that. But then when we talk about messy stuff, and then they come in the chat that want in here for the positive stuff, that's all you talk about. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say. Then we talk about other stuff. You see what I'm saying? Now, tomorrow might be different. We might get a little messy. We will get a little bit messy on Sunday. Don't come in here. All you talk about is this. But you weren't here when we had this conversation. See, you say you want something, but you ain't there when we do it. Your live earlier about the shutdown was good. Yes, it was. I enjoyed it. So I will be dragging on tomorrow to let you know that. So get mad at me now. It's going to go down. Okay? I don't think a shutdown will make people act better, because I'm reminded of this Black woman that worked in the cafeteria at the Library of Congress, been there for over 45 years, and she's a Black woman. She said she can't afford no government shutdown because she need her paycheck. How's she going to pay her bills? And she was crying. That ain't going to make people better. That's going to make poor people suffer, because Congress still going to get their money. I never agree with people that Black folk, that woman reminded me of my auntie. They can't get paid. These Black workers, these janitors and gardeners, these Black workers, they can't get a check. That ain't gonna make them feel better. That's gonna hurt their family. I ain't with that. You ain't gonna play no political football with people that are living check to check. F that. I don't care who you get that money, Switzerland, Ukraine, the Congo, but don't play with American money. Don't play with people's lives. People is living check to check. They can't afford to they can't afford to miss one check. And you talking about missing a minimum of 5 or 6, 7 checks? So, I ain't with that at all. And so, but what we have to do for those that are watching this, we got to be more informed, and we got to start doing some work, calling. We're going to be calling people on Monday. So come back to this show on Monday, because we're going to be making some phone calls live on the air. Okay? Live on the air. We're going to be live. We making some phone calls. I'm going to teach you how to be a good civil servant. All right? We're going to call the governor of Texas, because he got some power with them stupid Republicans. They ain't doing right, and stupid weak Democrat weak. We're going to be calling the mayor office about why he switched parties. We're going to call him tomorrow on Monday. We calling people. You better call the mayor. Call him. Call. Okay, we're going to be calling people. Okay? Yeah, we're going to be calling people. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Calling state representatives. We're going to be calling people. Why? I am a constituent. Even if I'm not, I'm an American. And then when they say, are you in my district? No. But your weakness as a beta affect me even if I don't live in your district. We're going to be calling people. But we don't play that over here. On Monday, it's a political, get ready. Y'all say I'm a troll, I'm going to show you a troll. I'm going to show you a troll. You ain't seen the political troll. You see me trolling YouTubers, but you didn't see me troll a politician. You gonna see a troll. Oh, you trolling. Uh-huh. So I want y'all to send me a list of people I need to call. State representatives, city councils. Give me your story, but you don't have to say your name. But I need to know how is things working for you in your life and what can a politician do to make your life better. Send me your stories to this email address, Wiley Show. I want y'all to send it to Wiley Show Production because that email get less emails than any other email. So send it to that email, Wiley Show Production. I need to know what's going on. So story, you will be anonymous, but I need to hear those stories. And send me, if you know the person, your senator or your Congress representative, send me their information as well, like their name. Just send me their name, and then we're going to reach, we can just Google their offices and talk to them. Okay, we're going to be talking to somebody. Okay, we're going to be sending emails too. We ain't playing no games. Okay, girl, I was working from home today at OT to prepare for the shutdown for the end of the physical. I need a break. Okay, Wiley Show Projection. We gonna play this. So send it me email. I need to know your stories of what's going on in this country. And people say, well, it's sad how people go into City Hall and get turned down. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. But my thing is this: I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Turn me around. You know what? I really want to give me a boo. I always want to do that. I ain't gonna let segregation turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching to the freedom land. I'm not gonna let you, sheriff, turn me around, turn me around. But I'm not gonna be singing. I'm gonna be doing action. Hello, yes. I ain't gonna get into that yet. But just tune in on Monday. Is it open Monday? Let me make sure that ain't no holiday, because you know holidays be creeping up on the Monday. Let me see. Holiday. I don't think August 2nd a holiday. Is that a holiday? No, we're gonna be talking. But I'm happy it's over through mid-November for society. Yes. So we're gonna be talking about it. I had to do a brunch of pre-government shutdown work too, and now it's yeah, it is sad, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, we didn't do the Dallas meet and greet because we was afraid it was a lot of stuff going. I mean, the Vegas meet, we're gonna postpone that and let you, because we didn't have no out of gown guests. It was all people that lived in Vegas. So we're gonna reintroduce that, but I want to make sure, because I saw the response of people sending me stuff they couldn't afford it. So we're gonna make sure do it at a time where y'all can afford it, and start praying and giving us stuff as well. Our next holiday is Halloween. Oh, I can't wait for my Halloween costume, baby. Only for 45 days, and make sure y'all donate too. All right, it's 84 people in here. If everybody send a minimum of $10 to this show, because we got a lot of plans that we want to do for this show. We need to travel. We want to, it's difficult for us to get press credentials for next year, but anywho, we can still be, because the action going to be outside anyway. So we need funding so we can be outside. You ain't got to worry about no hotel stay, because that's my home base. So, but we need funding so I can get a cameraman. And so I'm trying to see how I can live stream with cameras. So I probably have to do it on my cell phone, but I'm trying to see if we can do it without what Roland Martin have, because he have a live view something box we can stream anywhere. But anyway, whatever had goes, we still need your contribution so we can do that outside. Y'all seen we was in City Hall and I was covering the mic and it was bad sound, so we have microphones already for the cell phone, but we need more so I can get a camera team or myself so we can get down there and maneuver down there as well. It's going to be a lot of action at the DNC next year, and we want to make sure we're there so we can get that perspective from the Wiley Show, so we can have our representatives on the ground. We want to definitely be there on next year. So it's going to be at the United Center. I've never been to United Center. We definitely going to be there as well. So $ Marquise Wiley 28 Zale Wiley Show at the gmail.com. We ask that you contribute for that. We got our account. I think, what number do we have on our account? I think the last time, because we had to pay somebody $75 to edit this interview. So give me a second here. I got to check it. I would check it right now. What is the count for it? It wasn't that much because we had to dip into it. That's $75 to edit this interview that's going to drop on Monday if it's ready. Okay, it's at $100 now. $100. 1016. So in that account, that's like our biz account where we put money in there and we spend stuff for the show. We spend stuff for the show concerning like show stuff, like cameras or thumbnails or editing work and stuff like that. So, but I don't spend it all the time because it's very limited funds. So it makes sense. So this one interview, we went on and just gave Paul the $75 so he can edit this version, edit this interview that we got coming out on Monday. Let's pray that it come out on Monday. So, but those are the two entities for that as well. If you have that. So we definitely want to thank you all. We also have a P.O. box for people that do want to give to the P.O. box. We do have that as well. If you doing like money orders or something, we do have that as well. If you want to contribute to that, that's the P.O. box, the Wiley Show P.O. box 701122, Dallas, Texas 75370. Contribute to that P.O. box right now. Like if you want to send stuff like shirts, wigs, dresses, high heels, West size 14, that is the P.O. box. Any shirts, any books, anything. If you want me to promote an item, promote your business, you can send your items there. Any talk about, ads and you want to promote on here, you can always do Wiley Show Production at gmail.com or Wiley Show at gmail. Those two emails, you can email me that and we can talk and I can give you the rates that we have. Now they say I send my donation. Oh, True Heart sent her donation. Thank you, True Heart, for that $20 super sticker. Hey, thank you. And also someone sent a Cash App. Thank you so very much for the Cash App as well. We do want to appreciate those that have been sending money into as well. And so we want to thank y'all so very much. And that goes right back into the platform, right back into the show. It goes right back into the show. So we want to appreciate that as well. So we do want to thank True Heart for contributing, because I know some people live overseas and that's the only way they can legally give, because it's difficult because they have their own apps in other countries. I should actually say I work in public health, so probably not the glamorous as your job. Oh, okay. I see that. Thank you, Latavia J, for holding it down as the moderator. Any other moderators in here, thank y'all so very much for holding it down too. And that's why we add more mods, because some mods, I told you, they come and go. Ain't no problem. I got my fingers and I'm gonna get and click on it with my finger and add new mods on. They come and go. As long as I'm here, we're gonna come and go. So I do want to thank Latavia J for coming on, holding it down as the moderator. Any other moderators holding it down? I think I saw the other moderator holding it down too. I want to thank her as well. And so thank you all for holding it down for that. We want to greatly appreciate the moderators and executive producers. So don't forget, tomorrow at 12 p.m. On the East Coast, that's on 11 p.m. my time, Central. We're going to be doing our Zoom meeting. So we ask you all do come through on tomorrow. Anything else y'all want to say? Anybody else got something to say? Because we done. Thank you all so very much. Y'all have came through today with this town hall. All right. Little black boy, glory. Black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. And Tika Baby, thank you. Thank you so very much. I will see you all in the next video. Thumbs up, share, and we will see y'all in the next video. Thank you to our panelists, Melvanti. Thank you to brother Pastor Marquise, about to be Bishop. Thank you to Don Johnson for coming on as well. We want to thank those people. We want to give them a round of applause for coming on. Drop some round of applause in the chat. Thank them so very much for coming on. They did it. It was great. It was an awesome, powerful conversation. Make sure y'all go and watch that episode and rewind it. Share with your friends and tell us how we did in the comments. We'll see y'all tomorrow when we get back to roasting these celebrities. Peace.